Friday Night Football greetings from Lake Hamilton High School, where it is cold, it is football weather, and it is time for Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and live streaming on YouTube at Benton Football Network. Tonight, for the second week in a row, we've got a matchup of undefeated conference foes tangling for the top spot in the 6A West as the Lake Hamilton Wolves play host to our Benton Panthers. I'm Jim Gardner, joined on the Everett Buick GMC Panther pregame show by Terry Benham, Dio Vanucci, and the number one fan of the Panthers, Freddie Reinhardt. Last Friday, the Panthers pulled off one of the biggest wins in program history, ending top-ranked Greenwood's 35-game winning streak in conference play. The 45-38 Benton win will long be remembered by Panther fans. But tonight, the Panthers have an opportunity to earn at least a share of the conference title and secure the number one seed in the upcoming 6A playoffs with a win against an 8-0 Lake Hamilton team that will be without the services of their quarterback, Lane Warwick, who suffered a season-ending injury last week in the Wolves' 17-10 win at Sheridan. Tonight's broadcast of Benton Panther football is presented by Everett Buick GMC and sponsored by Black Corley, Owens & Hughes, Cornerstone Home Lending, Elliott Electric, Jones Heating and Air, ACDI, Farmers Bank and Trust, the Brent Houston for Circuit Judge campaign, Allied Glass, CDI Contractors, Glover Electric, Hamilton Family Dentistry, Riverside Grocery, Bank OZK, Smith Caldwell Pharmacy, Bryant Eye Care, Saline Memorial Health System, Ashby Funeral Home, the City of Benton, Congo Fireplace and Patio, First Security Bank, and the Benton Touchdown Club. Visit BentonPantherFootball.com to become a member of the Touchdown Club for team news, schedules, videos, pictures, and more. And Terry, as I welcome you in tonight, we usually begin with a preview of tonight's game, but we have got to review last week first. What a win for the Panthers.
Hey, man, listen, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that will energize a city better than a big sports win. I can't tell you how many people came up to me this week talking about the game. And tonight we got a chance to give them something else to talk about, a 6A West Conference title, a number one seed, a first-round bye. I mean, there's a lot on the line tonight, Jim, and I can't wait to get to it.
No doubt. Let's relive last week for just a second, though. 45-38, Benton shocked Greenwood. The Benton offensive line led the way to 194 yards rushing last week, the most allowed by Greenwood all season. DeAnthony Harper, 30 carries last week, 125 yards and 4 touchdowns. Garrett Brown, great night passing, 270 yards passing. Gavin Wells, 6 catches for 66 and a touchdown. Braxton Slaughter, 5 catches for 80 yards. Peyton Hudgens, 3 catches for 68.
Well, you know, and another thing that's not on here is a great job of coaching last week in both the preparation and during the game. And on offense, Garrett Brown looked much more comfortable last week, completing 66% of his passes. And when he's got 5 quality receivers you can run out there, you can see why. Braxton Slaughter has become the team's leading receiver with 429 yards and 3 touchdowns. And, hey, how about D-Buddy and that offensive line last week? D-Buddy had 30 carries for 125 yards, and those guys up front bullied the line of scrimmage better than any game that we've seen against the state's best. And hey, I'll take 7-minute drives any day of the week.
No doubt. Huge to start the second half for DeAnthony's effort last week. He was named the AR Preps Player of the Week and will be recognized at the Little Rock Touchdown Club on Monday. The Panther defense had some big performers last week as well. Cade Clark has had 3 big fourth-quarter interceptions in the last 2 weeks, none bigger than in the south end zone last week with 19 seconds remaining. How about the sophomore, Kane Simmons? 13 tackles last week to lead the PDC against Greenwood. Jaden Woolbright's had an unbelievable senior year, 9 tackles, 3 for loss and 1 sack last week. Jackson Drury, 9 tackles. Brett Barbary, Dylan Burnham, Monterio Mack, 7 tackles, and the senior middle linebacker Bryce Gallagher with a fumble recovery.
Well, it's just a great performance by the PDC, and specifically making the really big plays when the game was on the line or the third down was happening where we needed a stop. They got it. Cade Clark is already having a big night, but then he looked for the out pattern and then jumped the route, sealing one of the biggest thrilling victories in a long time. Again, in the south end zone. We were starting to make a habit out of that south end zone. I like it. Kane Simmons, I'm starting to call him the veteran sophomore Kane Simmons. He's second in the team in tackles, and he's just a sophomore, so we've still got a lot of really great football from him. And, Lake Hamilton comes into this game as the number one rushing offense in the 6A. I think they're number one. If they're not, they're averaging 363 yards per game on the ground, and the Panther defense has been tough on the run all season long, so they've only given up 114 yards per game. So one of those two has to give, Jim. We're going to find out tonight whether Lake Hamilton's rushing attack is that good or whether our run defense is that good.
Yeah, and it's a Lake Hamilton team without starting quarterback Lane Warwick. Zach Bradley will start in his place. This is a team that runs the ball 90% of the time. 372 of their 414 plays have been runs, but that's going to put them right into the teeth of the strength of the Panther defense tonight.
Well, it really is, and we talked a little bit last week about Justin Walker and how much of a presence he is in the middle of that line of scrimmage, and they're talking about tweaking that line of scrimmage a little bit and moving some guys inside and doing something different on the outside. And I think that the strength of our defense is only going to get stronger as we go into this game in at least from schematically a very predictable offense.
This is the 20th time Benton and Lake Hamilton will play. The Wolves hold a 13-6 lead in the series, but the Panthers have won 3 of the last 5, including last year at home, 34-24. We'll step aside, take our first commercial break, and when we come back, Dio Vanucci will visit with Brad Harris. This is Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and the Benton Football Network.
Family and community go hand in hand. That's why ACDI proudly calls downtown Benton our home and why we are excited to be a part of this community. Hi, I'm Josh Lane, the team captain at ACDI. My teammates understand the importance of serving in the community, and at ACDI, we'll always make that a priority. We are proud sponsors of the Benton Panther football team and thankful to share our family with this great hometown. Go Panthers!
Allied Glass is a full-service glass shop located in historic downtown Benton. Allied Glass is a third-generation business and family-owned and operated since 1967. Mirrors, shower doors, commercial storefronts, auto glass repair and replacement, tabletops, screens, plexiglass, and much more. For all your glass needs, call Allied Glass at 501-778-6244, located at 115 East Sevier in downtown Benton.
Ashby Funeral Home has been family-owned and operated, serving Benton and Saline County since 1882. Through 5 generations, Ashby Funeral Home has cared for families through compassionate and professional service. Ashby's provides all types of services for families in times of loss and grief. Their aim is to treat every family as they would treat their own. Ashby Funeral Home is located at 108 West Narrowway Street in Benton, and their phone number is 501-778-2544. Ashby Funeral Home, proud supporters of Benton Panther football.
Any lasting structure begins with a good blueprint, and every good blueprint must be designed specifically for the people it serves. The Benton Event Center, Riverside Park, and the new Boys and Girls Club, all designed by the professional architects at Black, Corley, Owens, and Hughes. They understand the Benton community and are a major part of our economic success. Proud sponsors of Benton Panther football and valued partners for our community.
Welcome back, folks. Dio Vanucci here with head coach Brad Harris. So, still undefeated in conference after Greenwood week. Always, that's got to be a great feeling.
Yes.
Another huge week. We knew coming into the last few games of the season, this was going to be the toughest road, and it goes through Lake Hamilton tonight. Lake Hamilton also undefeated in conference. Really well, and they're undefeated overall. But it's probably one of the biggest games that Benton's had in recent years, recent memory. Conference championship pretty much on the line tonight.
Right.
So Tell us about the week. Tell us about the attitude of the kids after last Friday and what you guys have going on right now.
Well, it just feels great to be undefeated after Greenwood, and be 5-0. We haven't been undefeated in conference play this late in the year since 2014 when we won a conference championship. So, it's exciting coming off of a big win over Greenwood. We haven't beaten them for 5 times, 5 straight times they've beaten us. So, it was good to get that win, and our kids have been extremely excited all week. And you always worry about, from a coaching standpoint, having that little drop off, after a big win, a big emotional win where you put so much into it. But our guys have had a good mentality. We talked to them about it Monday. Is, hey, when we get finished talking about everything from Friday night, we're moving on, and they've done a good job with that. Tuesday's practice was a little bit sluggish. But Tuesday's typically a sluggish day because we have a JV game and everything in there, and you got some of those guys that play a lot that drag a little bit on Tuesdays. But Tuesday was not bad. Wednesday was a really good practice. We were actually indoors part of the practice because of the rain, but it was a good upbeat energy practice and everything. And then Thursday was a good day. So we're pretty excited about it. We know what's at stake. Both teams 5-0 in conference play. Lake Hamilton undefeated overall, and I don't think many people probably expected that, but they're playing really well right now. When you get the wing T offense rolling and you play good defense, you win football games, and that's what Lake Hamilton's been able to do. But should be a great game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be nice and cold. It's going to be good football weather. You mentioned the wing T. Let's talk a little bit about that. Some Panther fans have seen a lot of the wing T over the past couple of years. We've seen that out of Cabot. Sheridan ran kind of a modified look at that in years past, but tell us what we're going to see tonight out of Lake Hamilton's offense and how that matches up to our defense.
Well, the biggest thing about wing T stuff, if you're a good wing T team, you use a ton of misdirection in the backfield with some motions and things like that, and that's what you see with Lake Hamilton. There's some teams that try to run wing T stuff that are not real good at it, that just run the base packages, but they run everything that you can run to be good, and they do a good job with it, with the motions and the shifts and the misdirection in the backfield. And they got 2 good running backs this year, so you can't key in on one guy, because if you try to take one away, they just go to the other one. And if you only got one dude back there, that's good for the defense. But they got 2 good ones, and they got a solid wing back. Their quarterback, they lost their quarterback last week from what we hear at the Sheridan game, so that's a plus for us because he was running the football a lot, and they run some option game with him and everything. So that's one less weapon they got in the backfield, and that's what they've had going all year. They've had their quarterback, their 2 running backs, and their wing back running the football with a lot of success. So a lot of misdirection, linemen pulling and getting on you, using angles to block and everything. They do a really good job. They're not the biggest offensive line we've seen, but they work well together. And, they do a good job of when the ball snaps, they come off the ball low and hard, and they get after you to the whistle. Defensively, they play a lot of soft cover, try to keep everything underneath you and rally the football. They play really good defense, too. So, we're going to have our hands full offensively against that defense. We feel like we've got some good matchups. So we're feeling pretty good about what we did last week. If we can have that run-to-pass mixture and balance in the offense, we feel like we're going to be pretty tough. D'Anthony ran the football really well. Casey ran the ball well. And then Garrett threw the ball to, Peyton, to Gavin, Braxton, Jaden Nash made a catch or 2. It's everybody got involved last week, and that's the big thing is getting all of our receivers involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and, talking about our offense last week, almost 200 yards rushing, almost 300 yards passing. So pretty big offensive night last week. And like you said, it was a good mixture of things. Talk a little bit about Lake Hamilton's defense. I know they're gonna give us a lot of underneath stuff. They're gonna try to take away the big play, but we kind of seem to feast on that underneath stuff in most cases. But in years past, Lake Hamilton has always just been a tough matchup for us. So how are you guys going to take advantage of that with those underneath throws tonight?
Well, we feel like that's one of the strengths of Garrett Brown is Garrett does a good job of reading underneath coverage, and he's got a good arm, and typically makes pretty good decisions, so we think a lot of spacing concepts underneath are going to be good to us. Some of our RPO game, things like that, we feel like we got some ways we can formation them to carry some guys out of the underneath and then hit something underneath with some motions or shift or something like that. So we feel like we've got a really good game plan. Coach Ray always does a great job of finding a little chink in that secondary. Last week we did it too, when we hit a couple big plays, and we feel like there's still some shot plays out there for us, but we really feel like the underneath stuff is something we got to take advantage of this week along with the run game.
Well, and speaking of the run game, last week the run game was really important to beating Greenwood. How important is the run game this week and getting it established?
Well, it's going to be huge again for us. We've had games before in the past deal where last year against Greenwood where we throw for 400 yards, but we lose the football game. We want to be able to have the run game going and be able to run when we want to and when we need to. And last week that was the case with us with Greenwood. D'Anthony did a great job of running, getting tough yards, and then put Casey in there, and he's like a little speeding bullet that hits the hole. It's a different dimension for him. Yeah. So we got to get those guys going, control the clock a little bit, keep our defense off the field from getting pounded on with that wing tee. Last week when we opened the third quarter and we go on a 7-minute drive, that was the best thing that could have happened to us last week against Greenwood. Our defense got to rest, even though they gave up 2 quick scores. They wasn't on the field very much in the second half as much,
Yeah.
So we had some energy at the end and to hang on right there.
Yeah, well, and speaking of which, slowing the game down, so on and so forth, we had 192 plays with Greenwood total.
Right.
And looking at comparing that to another game, Sheridan versus Lake Hamilton, they had 117 total plays.
Right.
That's the thing about the wing tee that
Yes.
everybody forgets about, is that eats a lot of clock.
Right.
How important tonight is time of possession?
Well, I think that's always something you want to try to do and try to keep your defense off the field. But one thing that we've done is, and this comes from Coach Davis, he's the mathematician on the staff and the stat guy. And Coach Ray and Coach Davis sat down and they talked about some goals for us this year. And we look back over the last, prior to last year, anytime we snapped the ball over 68 times, we typically won the football game. So one of our goals is to snap the ball 68 times per game. The games that we've won this year, we've been 68 plus mostly. Last week we were 74 plays. That's what we want. If we can snap it. Now tonight it may work against us a little bit because they're going to eat a lot of clock. So, we want to be able to play fast if it allows us to, but we also want to be able to dictate that if our defense is struggling, the run game's going to be huge for us, and to be able to choose some clock and time of possession could play a factor.
Good deal. Quick injury report. I know we're still missing Austin Jones.
Right.
Anybody else that was a starter last week that may not be playing tonight?
The only starter we lost from last week is Austin Drury, and he got stepped on or something probably right before halftime, second quarter, and played through the rest of the game and everything, but he has a small fracture in his foot, got a cast on it right now. He's going to be out 2 weeks, reevaluate him, so we're hoping we can win the next 2 weeks, get a bye week, have him back for the first playoff game is what the plan is.
Yeah.
But he's the only new injury we got. We thought we might get Austin back, but just not going to be that way this week, maybe next week. And if not, we'll get him back for a playoff run.
Yeah, rest him up, get him ready for the playoffs.
Yes,
so
sir.
Good to be healthy this late in the season.
Yes,
It's not something we've really seen in the past with Benton.
Yeah,
so
we feel like we're pretty close to full speed right now.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it's going to be a good game. I'm excited about it. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, we'll be back with Jim and Terry in the booth.
Congo Fireplace and Patio has been Benton's go-to place for all your hearth needs since 1920. Stop by now and see over 20 live burning displays. With the South's largest selection of gas logs, gas inserts, and wood-burning stoves, Congo has what you need to heat your home this winter. Get any accessory you need for your fireplace and stove in one place. Plus, see the largest selection of pellet stoves. With over 90 years of combined sales and service, there's no other place to shop.
Are you looking for something different and better? Then check out the all-new, redesigned 2019 GMC Sierra from Everett. The next generation Sierra has an impressive new look and more capability than ever before. You'll love Sierra's industry-leading new features, like the exclusive Multi-Pro tailgate. The new 2019 GMC Sierra. It's different and better, just like the buying experience at Everett Buick GMC and everettbgmc.com.
We're extremely community-oriented in Benton, and that's the same thing that we have at Cornerstone. A lot of the things that Cornerstone enables me to do, the great experience that we provide, it allows the customer to focus on what's really important in their life and not just getting their loan. We're going to take care of that part so that they can get to watching their kids' football game or to that recital that's important to them, and that's what really matters.
Jones Heating and Air, located at 520 Edison Avenue in Benton, specializes in residential, commercial, and new construction HVAC systems and offers 24-hour service. Jones is a proud supporter of Benton Panther Athletics, the Saline County Boys and Girls Club, and youth sports at Benton's Riverside Park. Find out more at jonesheatingandair.com or call 501-778-3324.
It's Friday, so Panther fans are thinking about our friends over at Riverside Grocery. Everyone knows about their catering that's good as grandma's, but their breakfast and lunch are becoming a Saline County tradition. Deer season's just around the corner, and Riverside's also your headquarters for feed and game processing. So whether you're gassing up or grabbing those essential tailgating supplies, Riverside Grocery has everything you need. Drop by Riverside and start your weekend right.
Saline County is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire country. The state's best schools, thriving businesses, family-friendly communities, and the great outdoors combine to make our home both exceptional and uniquely local. At Saline Health System, we deliver care that's as extraordinary as our home. With the most advanced technology and a team of doctors and nurses who know you by name, we're here to provide the care you deserve. Because around here, local is always extraordinary.
Welcome back to Lake Hamilton. We heard Coach Harris's breakdown. Terry, break down the Benton offense, Lake Hamilton defense matchup.
Well, to have a good defense, you got to stop the run, and the data suggests that they've really got a good defense. They only give up about 104 yards on the ground and 175 in the air, and they cause turnovers too. I know, Jim, that you had done some crunching on that. They're plus 12 according to your numbers, and they forced 17 so far this season, including 9 fumbles. Their offense is a great defensive weapon as well, because they will really eat the clock up, the old school Army style, 3 yards at a time. So they just line up and tackle you if they get near you. And you'll likely hear us calling number 6 and number 73 a lot, seniors Braden Qualls and Caleb Smith. They help control the line of scrimmage, and we'll need some bodies on those guys if we're going to have any offensive success. If we get some, if we can establish the run like we did last week, maybe even have one of those 7-minute drives of our own, Garrett Brown should be able to have a lot of success against their zone and their man-to-man coverage.
If Benton has a 7-minute drive, we may be done by 9 o'clock tonight.
And I would be good with that.
Yeah. Dio, break down the Benton defense against the Lake Hamilton offense for us.
Well, if there's a matchup that we've kind of been waiting for all year, I would consider it this one. The Lake Hamilton Wolves are coming into this game averaging 363 yards on the ground. That's an average, which is pretty stinking impressive. However, where our biggest weakness is in our young secondary, Lake Hamilton is only averaging 67 yards passing per game. So not very pass heavy, and with the cold temperatures and that rock hard football, you can expect that to see a lot of that just ground and pound out of Lake Hamilton. You're going to see some adjustments out of our defense tonight, a lot of 5-man front, sometimes even a 6-man front, depending on, down and distance. Really, you're going to see a unique formation a couple of times tonight as they roll a bunch of different guys around. You're going to see Gavin Davis playing kind of like a stand-up defensive end at times instead of his normal linebacker position. So a lot of different things you're going to see out of that. Now, when Lake Hamilton does pass, well, I'm going to throw it back to you guys as we do the national anthem here.
Yeah, we are going to step aside for a break while we have the national anthem here at Lake Hamilton. This is Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride.
Hamilton Family Dentistry, dental care that grows with you. We're family owned and are ready to provide dental care for your family. From your newborn baby to your great-grandparents, we see them all. Give us a call at 653-2422 or come visit us at 2422 Spring Hill Road.
Some of the greatest lessons I ever learned in my life were from high school football. Most people don't realize it, but like we say, defense wins championships. Well, operations wins championships in the mortgage world. And Cornerstone has the best operations in the business, hands down. That's what makes us able to take your file and have it ready to close in 8 days. That's where Cornerstone really shines.
Smith Caldwell Drug is located in the heart of downtown Benton. We're an independently owned pharmacy that strives to give our patients the best quality and care possible. We offer free delivery service and convenient drive-through window. Our friendly staff will help you with your insurance billing needs and much more. Be sure to shop our large boutique, gift section, and baby department, where you get free gift wrapping. Smith Caldwell Drug, in the heart of downtown Benton.
Family and community go hand in hand. That's why ACDI proudly calls downtown Benton our home and why we are excited to be a part of this community. Hi, I'm Josh Lane, the team captain at ACDI. My teammates understand the importance of serving in the community, and at ACDI, we'll always make that a priority. We are proud sponsors of the Benton Panther football team and thankful to share our family with this great hometown. Go Panthers!
Welcome back to Lake Hamilton. As we go to this week in Benton Panther sports, on Monday, the junior varsity defeated Little Rock Central 34-20. The Benton Bowl was Monday night with the Gray defeating the Maroon 20-18, a game that came down to the game's final play. It was a thrilling win for the Gray and a great future ahead for Benton football as two really good 7th grade teams this year. Last night at Cabot, the 8th graders fell to Cabot South 32-14, and the freshmen picked up their 3rd win in a row over a 7A Central team, defeating Cabot South 14-8. Now let's talk about 3 other teams. A couple of champions crowned this week in the PDFL on Tuesday. The Benton 4th graders won a championship right here at Lake Hamilton, and the 6th graders, who are on the screen of the live video feed, champions as well. And Dio, I know that's got to make you proud, the 2 championships for the PDFL Panthers.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's, every year since the PDFL started, we've had a championship team, and that's what we want to do with that program, is really just breed that winning culture and have it move on up through the school ball ranks, and hopefully start producing some state championships down the road.
Speaking of championships, state championships, Coach Shoup and the ladies go for a state championship tomorrow at 11 a.m. at Bank OZK Arena in Hot Springs. The Lady Panthers will take on Jonesboro in the 5A state championship game. Terry, what a thrill for Coach Shoup in her first year at the helm.
Absolutely, and what a great team too. They've really performed well this year, and the Panther cross country team is ranked number 4 in the state, with a couple of including Lake Hamilton right there with them, and they'll be going for a state championship next weekend at the state cross-country meet.
So a guy like Tony Linehan working a lot of overtime this time of year with volleyball and cross-country and football. Boy, we want to give the best of luck to the Lady Panthers. Bring home the crown tomorrow. All you Panther fans, get to Hot Springs tomorrow, Bank OZK Arena at 11 a.m. Last week in the 6A West, Benton defeated Greenwood. Lake Hamilton defeated Sheridan 17-10. El Dorado defeated Siloam 30-6. And Russellville defeated Hall 38-8. Tonight in the 6A West, every game with big playoff implications. In addition to this one, Sheridan is at Greenwood, El Dorado is at Russellville, and Little Rock Hall is at Siloam Springs. Last week in Saline County, Bryant, another Mercy Rule win. That's 8 for 8. 55-10 over Cabot. Joe T. Robinson defeated Bauxite 35-14. Nashville defeated Harmony Grove 42-6. And Glen Rose defeated Perryville 41-6. Tonight in Saline County, North Little Rock is at Bryant. Arkadelphia is at Bauxite. Fountain Lake is at Harmony Grove. And Glen Rose is at Atkins. It is pick-to-click time. Terry, you're up first.
Well, I picked DeAnthony Harper and Jaden Woolbride. Both of my guys are keys to my key to victory, which we'll talk about in a minute. Harper's key to moving the sticks tonight, and Woolbride's going to be key to shutting them down.
Freddie is going to go with the quarterback, Garrett Brown. Freddie loves quarterbacks, and senior safety Dylan Burnham. Dio, your picks to click.
Well, I'm going to take Gavin Wells. I think we're going to see a lot of cover 4 out of Lake Hamilton tonight, a lot of underneath stuff open, so he should be he should get some freedom and run loose a little bit. And then on defense, I went with Brett Barber. He's going to be down there where all the action is against that Lake Hamilton run game. So hoping he has a big night, maybe a few tackles for loss. And I'm going to go ahead and give you my key to victory. We've got to win first and second down. We've got to put Lake Hamilton in a position where they're playing from third and long. And let me just say this, in either one of the most brilliant or boneheaded coaching moves ever, Lake Hamilton's head coach decided that it was too much of a competitive advantage for Benton to use the normal indoor facility as their locker room, so they shoved us in the broom closet. And I can tell you Coach Harris has got his troops fired up about it.
Yeah, a locker room built for 20 that the Panthers had to get ready in. Great hospitality tonight being shown to Benton. Terry, you're a key to victory.
Well, you know, as Dio's talking about first and second down, I'm going to go a little bit further. We got to win third down. Negative plays are important, and Lake Hamilton doesn't perform well when they have negative plays, but we've got to win third down on both sides of the ball. When Lake Hamilton has the ball, our defense has to make a stop and get our offense back on the field. And likewise, when we have the ball, we must convert. The Panther offense is only converting 33% of their third downs for the season. Last week, Jim, we converted 50 or just under 50%, and that made a huge difference in the game, and I think it'll be critical tonight.
Lake Hamilton won the toss and elected to receive. And Benton will kick, and the Panthers will be defending the north goal. Benton will be moving left to right on your radio dial here in this first quarter. The captains tonight for Benton, Trey Maxwell, Gavin Wells, Braxton Slaughter, and Jaden Woolbright. 4 outstanding senior leaders for this Benton Panther football team. Terry, I know you love this uniform combination, the gray pants, the white tops, and that maroon helmet for Benton tonight. Lake Hamilton in all maroon.
Boy, they're a good-looking group out there. Let's hope they play as well as they look tonight.
Brian Arajo will kick off for the Panthers as we are ready to go in a game that will decide who remains atop the 6A West Conference. Rajo's foot is into it. It is a high end-over-end kick that will be fielded at the 5-yard line. On the return, Owen Miller, he's got a seam. And that is going to be back over the 50-yard line. Lake Hamilton going to have it in Benton territory to open this game. And that was actually Braden Broughton on the return for Lake Hamilton. His long of the season, just 20 yards. And Broughton returns it all the way into Benton territory. But we have a marker lying back at the 20-yard line. And that is going to wipe out the big return as a hold against Lake Hamilton.
Wow.
We'll move it all the way back to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, man, that's a huge penalty right there because they had basically their best athlete with the football, and Benton's kick coverage did something they hadn't done all year long, which is give up a big play and give the other side a good place to start running the football from. And that penalty is going to back them all the way up to the 10-yard line. So they're by inside the 20, Jim, and this is going to be a 90-yard drive effort.
9-yard line for Lake Hamilton. First down and 10. 2 tight ends, full house backfield. They give it to Owen Miller, and Miller's going to be stuffed for a 2-yard loss as he tried to come around the left end. Jaden Woolbright was there waiting on him. Starting tonight for Benton on defense, Caleb Kaufman, Justin Walker, Brett Barbary, and Trey Maxwell up front. Jaden Woolbright and Bryce Gallagher, the linebackers. Jackson Drury and Cade Smith are playing outside linebacker spots tonight. Cade Clark and Dylan Burnham, the corners. Kane Simmons is the free safety tonight. It is 2nd down and 12 for Lake Hamilton. Their early momentum wiped out by a big holding penalty on the kickoff return. Go back to the ground. Owen Miller, he's going to bounce it outside, makes a move back inside, and Miller has running room for a first down to the 21-yard line.
Well, they had a real good seal block that time to open the hole up, and he just got outside and was able to get into open space and get down the field.
Miller and his fellow sophomore running back Tevin Woodley account for 77% of Lake Hamilton's total yards on the season. They're going to go to Miller again running left, and Miller cuts it back to the right, and he's going to pick up 2 yards to the 23-yard line as Bryce Gallagher was there to make the tackle for the Panthers.
Man, this is an exciting game to watch because there is a lot of hitting going on right now at that line of scrimmage. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube on the Benton Panther Football Network, watch that line of scrimmage and watch the game that's going on right there.
2nd down and 7. Again, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, a wing back in motion. They go to the fullback this time, and that is Woodley carrying the football, and Woodley carries it up to the 28-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and 3. So here's 3rd down, Terry, your key.
That's right, and 3rd and 3 is where you want them. You know, anytime you can get some space between you and the sticks, 3rd down is a good chance for the Benton Panther defense to get off of the field.
Lake Hamilton huddles. They run their plays in and out from the sideline. It is a very methodical offense that comes to the line of scrimmage. Snap clock at 5 seconds. 3rd down and 3 for the Wolves. Ball in the center of the field. They get the snap off. They give it to the fullback, and he is going to be dropped short of the 1st down at the 30-yard line. A yard short, it'll be 4th and 1.
Yeah, that's good. And now it's going to be 4th down, and they're going to be on their own 40-yard line, but it's a short yard. So let's see if they gamble and try to get this 1st down.
Tommy Gillerin is going to send the play in via Gavin Robbins, the sophomore tight end. It appears as if Lake Hamilton will go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 30-yard line. The Benton defense digging in. Zach Bradley under center, tries to get Benton to jump. The Panthers do not. Bradley looks to the sideline to head coach Tommy Gillerin, who's going to call a timeout before the play clock expires. And so as we go down to Dio, 4th and 1, the Benton defense showing good discipline.
Yeah, great discipline right there. Let me tell you something, from the field level, watching Lake Hamilton, I don't have the advantage that you guys do, being able to kind of see what's going on. I can tell you right now, at field level, it is extremely confusing. You can't hardly tell who's got what going on with that ball. And then all of a sudden somebody will pop. So hats off to that defense for keeping good eye discipline so far on this drive.
It's football in a phone booth, Terry.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the defense has got 8 and sometimes 9 guys in the box, and it's very physical up front at the line of scrimmage. It's kind of fun to watch.
Lake Hamilton has sent their offense back out on the field. They are going to go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 30, ball on the right hash. Bradley under center, takes a snap, just quarterback sneaks it, and it is going to depend on the spot as the Benton defense –
it's going to be close.
Was ready for that quarterback sneak. Bobby Wynn is pointing in the direction of Benton football. It is all going to depend on where they mark that one, Terry.
It sure is. And the players in the way I can't see, but it's going to be very close. They're going to have to measure it.
Dio, you able to get a peek?
I'm going to walk down here and try to.
Okay, chain gang coming onto the field. This is a big measurement. Benton could get the football as the Panther defense standing around. They pull the chain tight, and it's 1st down Lake Hamilton.
By the hair of their chinny chin chin.
1st down Lake Hamilton, signaled by Eddie Enlow, our referee tonight. A very good crew here tonight calling this game. 1st down and 10 for Lake Hamilton at their own 31-yard line. Again, we want to make mention, Zach Bradley, the 2nd-string Lake Hamilton quarterback, is in there in place of an injured Lane Warwick. Warwick, 485 yards rushing on the season at quarterback for Lake Hamilton. Now the Wolves are going to throw, and Bradley slings it out, and it goes through the fingers of Destin Rhodes. Terry, a team that only throws it 6 times a game throws it on their first drive.
Yeah, they do, and you know, they're going to need to probably do that at some point tonight, but when they do, they've got to catch it. And he just dropped an open pass right there. He had some space to run and wasn't able to come down with the pass, and it's going to be a long 2nd down now.
Lake Hamilton did not throw the ball a time after Bradley replaced Warwick last week at Sheridan. 2nd down and 10 following the incompletion. They go back to the ground, running to the left. Look at Owen Miller, a very tough runner, breaks a couple of tackles and is finally going to be finished off by Kane Simmons and Dylan Burnham just shy of the 36. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Really got to be disciplined because that goes back to what Dio was talking about, winning first and second down. We had an opportunity to make a tackle there and put them in a 3rd and 10 situation, which is bad for them, and missed that opportunity. But now we're still set up with a long 3rd down.
Seen Lake Hamilton run left very heavy in this first drive behind left tackle Chase Jessup, a 6'4", 255-pound sophomore at left tackle. On 3rd down and a long 5, Bradley's going to keep. Flag comes in. The Panthers had sniffed out that quarterback run, but a flag thrown from the back judge, and we're going to get, I believe, an illegal substitution against Lake Hamilton, and that's going to really put them behind the sticks, Terry. 3rd down and 10, a position the Lake Hamilton offense doesn't want to be in.
Well, that's a position that we want, and that time they kind of lucked out by getting that penalty because they were going nowhere with that play call. Bryce Gallagher was waiting on them in the hole. That would have been 4th and long, but now they get another chance to try to make a first down.
7:25 and counting remaining in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Game's opening drive. It's 3rd down and 10, Lake Hamilton from their own 31-yard line. 8 men in the box for Benton. The direct snap to Braden Broughton. He's running right, and he's running into a wall of defenders led by Trey Maxwell right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 10.
Yeah, that's exactly what we needed, a good stop, and now we can get that offense off the field and get the ball back and hopefully get our first drive of the game going.
Back to punt for Lake Hamilton. Well, we can't tell the number from our angle. It should be Dylan Jackson. It's Spencer Hilliard, and he kicks it high and wobbly, and it bounds at the Benton 43 and rolls out of bounds at the Panther 39-yard line. So, Dio, you get the ball in good territory, and it's because you won 1st and 2nd down.
Well, they did an excellent job, and just what, that was kind of my key. Now, given we were aided by a penalty on that, but that's what I meant by winning 1st and 2nd down. Got to put them in that position because a team like Lake Hamilton is going to struggle anytime they've got 3rd and long. They tried to formation it and get us out of position, but Kane Simmons doing a good job staying outside.
First down for Benton. The give to DeAnthony Harper running left, and DeAnthony picks up 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Panthers. Starting tonight on offense for Benton, the quarterback is Garrett Brown, running back DeAnthony Harper. The offensive line from left to right, Garrett Davis, Tristan Redd, Kobe Reeves, Jesse Taylor, and Kyrie Watkins. The receivers are Gavin Wells, Jaden Nash, Braden Murdoch, and Braxton Slaughter on 2nd and 8. Lake Hamilton jumps off sides, and that'll give Benton 5 free yards. And, Terry, we'll take it.
Yeah, last week playing Greenwood, you've got to be very disciplined if you're playing Greenwood, or you're not going to even have a chance, and the Panthers did really good at that.
2nd down and 3, 2 men in the backfield. Gavin Wells gets the carry, and Wells is going to pick up a couple of yards to the 49. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for Benton as the Panthers move left to right here in this first quarter.
Back to that critical 3rd down. It's really important that the offensive line get a good push right here and make some room for these running backs.
Harper and Wells in the backfield with Brown. Harper's going to get it running to the left, and he's going to turn up, pick up the first down as the Panthers stretch that one out. D. Buddy found a crease and got the first down to the Lake Hamilton 47.
Man, that was a great run by Harper that time as he kind of extended the play out there to the left, Jim, and then found that hole and just darted straight ahead for a good 4-yard gain and a first down.
Panthers empty the backfield now. Garrett Brown from an empty gun takes the snap, rolls to the right. Receivers available. Braxton Slaughter with the catch. Inside the 25. 20 fumbles the football, and Lake Hamilton has fallen on it as Slaughter lost the ball making a move. And the Lake Hamilton defense, Terry, we talked about it in the pregame, very opportunistic, forcing turnovers, punched it out and recovered it, and it's Lake Hamilton football at the 18.
Well, we're not going to beat an undefeated team if we're turning the ball over. That's their 10th fumble of the year. That was a forced fumble. It was a good play by the defender, and Braxton, who's been big all season long, hadn't put the ball on the ground puts the first one down this year.
Braden Qualls recovered for Lake Hamilton. It's Wolf football at their own 18. First down and 10, full house, backfield. And they give off to Owen Miller. Breaks a couple of shoestring tackles now. He's tripped up by Bryce Gallagher at the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3.
Yeah, and, you know, one of the things that you talk about in off-season is the off-season program and getting up and the physicality of all of the drills that they do. This is a game that's for.
Tight end to the left, receiver to the left, wing back left. They go Tevin Woodley, fullback up the middle, and Jaden Woolbright, the first one to hit him. Trey Maxwell and Caleb Kaufman finished the tackle, and it's going to be third down and, well, they gave him a good spot. They gave him 2 yards, third down and 1.
Hey, and you saw Cade Smith in there too, scrapping 5'10", 160-pound junior, not backing down a bit.
So Lake Hamilton, third down and 1. Panther defense digs in. Rhodes in motion. They give it to Woodley. Woodley spins out of a tackle, and he's going to pick up the first down as Trey Maxwell there to make the tackle for Benton at the 31-yard line. That'll move the chains. First down, Lake Hamilton.
You know, Jim, we were talking about it a little bit off the air in pregame. They don't turn the ball over very much. They haven't put the ball on the ground very much at all. And as much as they run the ball, you would think that they would have more fumbles, but they just don't. They do a good job of ball protection.
Only lost 2 fumbles all season long. It's first down and 10 for Lake Hamilton as they again send the wing back in motion. Give it on the inside trap to Owen Miller. He's got running room over midfield. Over the Benton 40, he's going to be drug out of bounds by Cade Clark all the way down to the Benton 32-yard line. Is a big run, Owen Miller again over that left side.
Hey, that was a pretty play. That was a well-designed play. He ran right to where the pressure was coming from, and there was all kinds of open space to run in.
37 yards on that gain for Miller. First and 10, Lake Hamilton at the Benton 32. They go to Woodley, and Woodley is in the second level. He picks up 8 yards to the Benton 24-yard line, and Terry, right now on this drive, it's coming too easy for Lake Hamilton.
Yeah, they've kind of got us back on our heels right now. We're not winning any down right now. They've got a good rhythm going, and the Panthers are going to have to buckle down.
Strong offensive line for Lake Hamilton. This is strength on strength as the Panthers. Boy, look at all those white jerseys on that defensive line, Terry. 5 down linemen. 2 outside linebackers, 2 inside, 9 in the box for Benton. They go to Owen Miller, and he is thumped at the 25-yard line. Just can't block that many defenders, and Benton that time overload the box.
Well, Trey Maxwell brought the wood on that one. That was a nice hit by Trey Maxwell to really knock him backwards and put a good lick on the running back.
Third down and 3, Lake Hamilton at the Benton 25. Clock already nearing 2 minutes to go in this first quarter that is scoreless. Wolves with 2 tight ends, wing back to the left, 2 men in the backfield in this wing T formation. Now Rhodes, the wing back, goes in motion. They fake to him, trap to Owen Miller, and Miller is going to get the first down. Jaden Woolbright hit him at the line of scrimmage. Miller able to struggle forward to the 21. Needed 3, picked up 4, first down, Lake Hamilton.
Well, it's another pretty play, man. When they execute that, it's really hard to stop because they get the motion, and so they've got everybody's eyes looking left, and then they come back right to the middle of the field.
Benton with just 4 snaps in this first quarter that has 1:30 left. Bradley fakes. Bradley rolling out. Bradley going to throw. Has a man open. That's Destin Rhodes, and he's going to step out of bounds inside the Benton 10. Down to the 7-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Lake Hamilton.
A nice design play. All the pressure came towards the quarterback, and there was nobody back there covering the tight end, and he just got down the field.
Lake Hamilton's leading receiver on the season was 6 catches. Rhodes' 7th catch of the season. but he averages 34.8 yards per catch. First down and goal, Wolves at the Benton 7-yard line. Ball on the right hash. Bradley pitches it to Tevin Woodley running right. Woodley's outside, and he's going to be forced out of bounds at the 3-yard line. It'll be second and goal.
Yeah, it was a good physical run that time. They had a lot of blockers out front and had a little bit of a jersey that time as well, but Panthers are now buckled down inside their own 5, defending the goal line.
Ball just shy of the 2-yard line. Second down and goal for Lake Hamilton as Bradley comes in with the play. Lake Hamilton breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage, tight end to each side. They split a man wide to the right. 2 men in the backfield behind quarterback Bradley. They give it off to Tevin Woodley, and Woodley's in the end zone. Tevin Woodley, the sophomore, with his 19th rushing touchdown of the season. And Lake Hamilton has drawn first blood tonight as the fireworks illuminate the sky here over Lake Hamilton High School. With 1:16 to go in the first quarter, it's 6-0. Spencer Hilliard on for the extra point. He's 33 of 36 on the season. Zach Bradley will hold. Ball down, kick up, and it is good. And with 1:16 to go in the first quarter, it's Lake Hamilton 7 and the Benton Panthers 0. Dio, that offense kind of took it to the Panthers that drive.
Yeah, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we don't stop them from. I mean, we need to just stop them because it wouldn't hurt my feelings to not have these fireworks going off on my in my ear over here. I don't think they'll shoot those off when we score, but you know, that's what stings about that is that you have the turnover that leads to that drive after the defense stopped them. We don't really want to play this team from behind. That's not really how you want to play a Lake Hamilton team, because when they get up, they can just slow it down even further. So they did a really good job, their offensive line, of picking up some of those second level blocks. That's what we did on the first drive. We weren't allowing them to get to our second level. Our linebackers were able to play a little bit faster, but that drive they did a good job of kind of walling and then getting to that second level, and that kind of hurt us there. And we had some guys out of position in the secondary.
So Hilliard will kick off for Lake Hamilton, has 6 touchbacks on the season. It's a high end-over-end kick that's going to be fielded at the 11-yard line. Andre Lane with running room over the 35, loses his footing at the 39-yard line. Boy, Andre had a seam, Terry, and just tripped up by the turf at the 40. So Benton going to have good field position for their second possession of the ball game.
Well, Andre's averaging over 20 yards a return and has got 260 yards on the year in returns. And I'll tell you, he is a dangerous weapon. And he's almost broke 2 or 3 this season, Jim, and he certainly had some running room there.
Saw the Panther offense driving on the first possession of the ball game, but a fumble down at the Lake Hamilton 18 snuffed out the drive. We'll see if the Benton offense can get moving. Down 7-0 late in the first quarter. DeAnthony Harper gets the carry, and he tries to bounce off a tackle, and waiting on him to make the tackle for Lake Hamilton was Isaiah Clenny, the junior linebacker. Just a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, there was nowhere to run that time, and he just ran into a wall. There was a lot of maroon jerseys waiting on him.
Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Garrett Brown throws. Peyton Hudgens makes the catch, and that'll be first down yardage over midfield to the Lake Hamilton 48-yard line, a gain of 11.
Dangerous pass that time, but Garrett Brown threw a strike. Really, really great ball to Peyton Hudgens, and it's a big first down for the Panther offense.
First down, Benton at the Wolf 48-yard line as Hudgens is going to come to the right with Braxton Slaughter. Murdoch split to the left. Wells and Harper in the backfield. They fake to DeAnthony Harper. Throw down the seam to Murdoch, and it is going to be incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
There's a little bit of contact over there before he could get behind the defenders. He had them beat, but Brown was going to have to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, and I don't think he had the time.
Panthers tried to hit him with a play action. Come back on 2nd down and 10 with trip receivers to the open field. Single receiver to the short side of the field. As Brown looks to the sideline, Justin Ray calls the play from the press box down to wide receiver coach Randy Shaw, who signals it into Brown. Harper going to set to the right of Brown, who takes the snap, going to flip it out to Peyton Hudgens. Hudgens going to be snowed under by Lake Hamilton defenders. Braden Qualls, the linebacker, gets him back at the 50-yard line. That's a loss of 2, and it'll be 3rd and 12 as the first quarter clock has come to an end tonight here at Lake Hamilton. 7-0, Lake Hamilton leads it. We'll step aside and take a break and come back with the second quarter tonight of Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and the Benton Football Network.
Allied Glass is a full-service glass shop located in historic downtown Benton. Allied Glass is a third-generation business and family-owned and operated since 1967. Mirrors, shower doors, commercial storefronts, auto glass repair and replacement, tabletops, screens, plexiglass, and much more. For all your glass needs, call Allied Glass at 501-778-6244, located at 115 East Sevier in downtown Benton.
Ashby Funeral Home has been family-owned and operated, serving Benton and Saline County since 1882. Through 5 generations, Ashby Funeral Home has cared for families through compassionate and professional service. Ashby's provides all types of services for families in times of loss and grief. Their aim is to treat every family as they would treat their own. Ashby Funeral Home is located at 108 West Narrowway Street in Benton, and their phone number is 501-778-2544. Ashby Funeral Home, proud supporters of Benton Panther football.
Any lasting structure begins
Lake
with a good
Hamilton
blue.
with 21 snaps in the first quarter, Benton with just 8. As we open the second quarter, Lake Hamilton leading 7-0, 3rd and 12 Panthers. As Brown's throw for Slaughter downfield incomplete, but a flag comes flying in, and we're going to have a pass interference against Hunter Miller.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I've been coming down to Lake Hamilton a while, and that ball was not catchable. And sometimes the goblins and ghouls come out here at Lake Hamilton, and that is one of the first times that it's worked in our favor.
On the outskirts of Hempwallace, strange things happen, right?
That's exactly right.
And now they're going to call, they're going to wave off the penalty as the referees conferred. They're going to call it incomplete. Now it'll be 4th and 12 Panthers.
That's the right call. You know, it's the right call. That ball was not catchable, and Braxton was open, but Garrett just missed him. He threw the ball probably 10 yards further than Braxton was, and the Panthers are going to have to punt and give the ball right back to Lake Hamilton.
Brett Barbary will snap Preston Barker, who averages 33.2 yards per punt. Will punt it away for the Panthers. Ball on the right hash as Benton moves right to left here in the second quarter. Snap back. Barker not going to rugby punt it, just going to conventional punt that one. It's high, it's short, and it is going to be downed by Jaden Woolbright at the 30. Just a 20-yard punt for Barker, and Lake Hamilton will send their offense onto the field with a 7-0 lead. Dio, you need to do something down there to get the momentum changed.
Well, you're right, but, you know, as Terry talked about, turnover is not one of those things that Lake Hamilton does very well. So we're probably not going to get a turnover, but what we can get is a negative play. You know, hopefully this defense can do a good job. Our defensive line is really where it starts, and if they can do a good job of holding up the offensive line and giving our linebackers some space to make plays, that's what we need to happen.
First down and 10, Lake Hamilton from their own 30-yard line is a little double handoff to Destin Rhodes.
That's a hold.
Missed a hold on Jackson Drury, and Rhodes is going to turn it into a gain over the 40-yard line. They are going to mark him out at the 43, a gain of 13 yards. And, Terry, you saw Jackson Drury being held on the edge.
Yeah, no two ways about that. It's not hard to gain 13 when they're outside containment guys being held by the back. Are they going to call it?
I don't see a flag on the field. Do you, Tony? But Lake Hamilton offense is backing up. So is the Benton defense. The officials are visiting. Now they're going to.
Oh, my goodness.
They're going to wave off. There was a flag back at the 29-yard line. So we've had more penalties waved off in this first half than we have had called. It'll be officially a 13-yard gain for Destin Rhodes and the Lake Hamilton first down.
Well, I gave him credit for making the right call that time. I'm going to take them to task on this one because that was a terrible hold. It was easy to see, and it resulted in a Lake Hamilton first down.
I think Brad Harris is wanting an explanation. He's been bending the ear of the side judge on the Benton sideline, who came over, visited with the referee. Now the side judge back, giving an explanation to Brad Harris, who does not agree with it, clearly. First down and 10, Lake Hamilton at their own 43-yard line. Going to go back to Woodley, the fullback, and Woodley is hit and driven back by Bryce Gallagher. Boy, it's a great form tackle by the senior linebacker.
Boy, it sure is. He stepped right into the gap and laid a lick and then kept his feet driving and pushed the runner back. There's that negative play that Dio was talking about. They're still going to spot him on the line of scrimmage, but he got absolutely nowhere.
Second down and 10, Lake Hamilton. Benton wins first down. See if they can win second down and put Lake Hamilton off schedule. Is Bradley going to give to Owen Miller running left, and Trey Maxwell hog ties him at the 40 for a loss of 3. It'll be third down and 13.
Well, I like what I'm seeing down there right now. There's a lot of intensity on the line of scrimmage. The defense came back out that time and said, you know, we kind of got pushed around on the previous drive, but we're going to push back this drive.
We've seen Trey Maxwell all year at outside linebacker. They moved him to a defensive end spot here tonight. Trey has played well thus far. 4 down linemen. Now Maxwell shifts back to linebacker as Benton going with a 4-3 look on third down and 12 as Bradley drops back, pressured by Brett Barbary, sets up the screen to Owen Miller, and it's going to be well short of the first down as Miller is dropped at the 45. And it'll be fourth down and 8, and Lake Hamilton's going to send on the punt team.
Yeah, great job that time by Barbary, giving just a bull rush towards a quarterback. And I will tell you this, if they try to man up with him one-on-one, he's going to have a career night tonight.
Fourth down and 8, Lake Hamilton will punt it away with 9:50 to go in the first half. Gavin Wells back to receive for Benton, stands at his own 20. And there's the punt from Hilliard. Boy, that's a booming, spiraling punt that hits at the 16. Takes a 2-yard bent roll and is going to be down at the 18. A booming punt from the Lake Hamilton senior kicker, Spencer Hilliard. Dio, you got him off schedule that time and forced a punt.
Yeah, we really did. I think the defense actually got fired up that they called off that holding call, which everybody saw. I mean, obviously the line judge right there was right on the line and saw it through it. I don't know how the referee talked him out of that call, but got the defense fired up, and they made a negative play happen two in a row, and that's what put them in that position, forced them to do something that they're not very good at, throwing the ball. Now our offense really needs to establish one or the other, ground game or a passing game, and figure out a rhythm and stick to it.
Gavin Wells is in at quarterback for the Panthers. He takes the snap. Gavin going to keep, and Gavin with very little room to run. They're going to give him the 20-yard line, and a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that was almost a miscommunication there. It caused that almost caused a fumble. Gavin was able to keep his hands on the ball and get some positive yards. You had Braxton Slaughter in the slot that time, and he had some open space, but it doesn't look like it was the right play call.
On 2nd and 8, 4 receivers to the right. Brown rolls that way and throws, and the catch is made and pushed out of bounds. Gavin Wells at the 25. So Benton will face a 3rd down and 3 with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter, and Lake Hamilton leading 7-0.
Hey, it's a big 3rd down. We don't need a 3 and out here. We need to get a first down, keep the sticks moving, keep this offense on the field.
3rd down and 3, Panthers. Trips to the left. Garrett Brown looking that way. Now he's going to run into open field. Brown has the first down as he steps out of bounds at the 30 along the Benton sideline. Lake Hamilton, Terry, just dropped back, tried to take the pass away, and Garrett Brown picks up the first down with his legs.
Yeah, they had their wide receivers flooded to the left, and all the defensive coverage went that way as well. They did have a spy back there, but Garrett was able to get downfield and get positive yards enough for the first down.
First down, Panthers at their own 30-yard line. As the offense looks to the Benton sideline for the play, Gavin Wells and DeAnthony Harper in the backfield. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Going to motion Wells and throw it to him out of the backfield. Gavin picks his way over the 40, up to the 43-yard line. and they're not blowing the whistle. Look, look at our little spark plug go all the way to the 45-yard line, and that's a play that can give you a little life, Terry, as Gavin picks up 15 yards.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something about this senior. You're not going to arm tackle him. He may be small, but you're going to have to tackle that young man.
6 Lake Hamilton Wolves had him wrapped up at the 43, and Gavin kept churning. Going to go back to it as they flip it out to Gavin. He's looking downfield for Jaden Nash. Has him inside the Lake Hamilton 30, 20, 10. Touchdown Panthers. Gavin Wells to Jaden Nash for the touchdown. 55 yards, and Benton's on the board.
Boy, Wells really sold that time, running out to the line. It looked just like the previous play where he came back left, this time rolling out right, and Nash was able to slip behind the defenders for a huge touchdown and tie this ball game up.
Jaden Nash with his team-leading 5th receiving touchdown of the season with 7:59 to go in the first half. Brian Arajo on for the extra point, and the kick is up, and it is good, and we are tied 7-7. Dio, that is a momentum shifter and the answer you wanted to see out of your offense.
Well, that's exactly what we need to do. Looks like the coaches decided that, hey, let's try Gavin Wells at quarterback, see how that running goes. Lake Hamilton not really going to give us anything on the ground, so, hey, let's go to the air with it. Those short little passes like that are dangerous when you get the ball in the hands of a weapon like Gavin Wells, because he can do so many things with it, like run it or, in that case, throw it, which I don't mind as long as I get credit for it on my pick-to-click points.
Terry, the numbers say the Lake Hamilton defense, if there's a weakness, it's against the pass, and Benton exploited it on that drive.
Well, they run such a basic defense that, good passing attacks can find those little pockets in those zones. And then, man-to-man, I don't know that they match up that well with some of our receivers. And the beautiful part about Brown and I guess now Wells is there's so many good receivers that he has plenty of targets, and somebody's going to be open.
Braden Broughton and Owen Miller back to receive the kickoff for Lake Hamilton. Brian Arajo will kick off for the Panthers. Boy, what a find Brian Arajo has been this
Good
season.
soccer program, man.
Mm-hmm. As Arajo approaches the football and kicks off, and he kicks a line drive that is going to take Broughton back to the 3-yard line. Broughton returns. He spins into a tackle, and now Broughton doing his best Gavin Wells imitation. Drags Benton tacklers to the 28, and that's where Lake Hamilton will put it in play. Brian Eye Care, a primary optometric physician's clinic, provides comprehensive internal and external ocular health exams. Dr. Brian Armstrong, the immediate past president of the Arkansas Optometric Association, and his staff are located at 2900 Horizon Drive, Suite 15 in Bryant. Brian Eye Care, helping you see eye to eye with your doctor. 1st and 10, Lake Hamilton. As they go to the shotgun, give it to Owen Miller, and Miller is going to be tackled at the 31 by Trey Maxwell and Brett Barbary. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Boy, that was a lot of guys flying around. And, when they lost Wayne Warwick last time, Lane Warwick was 30% of that offense, Jim. I mean, of all of the offense that they have, 97% of their offense is on the ground, and Lane Warwick was 30% of that. So you'd lose 1/3 of your offense just by one guy going down.
2nd down and 7. Again, shotgun snap is Lake Hamilton trying to spread Benton out. They keep it on the ground with Zach Bradley, who is going to pick up 1 yard as he was tackled by Jaden Woolbright. Benton really had that play snuffed out, Terry. It'll be 3rd and 6.
They really did, because he broke 2 tackles before he actually made 2 yards. And Benton was doing a good job of covering that up. He's only had 7 snaps before coming into this game. He'll have as many snaps in this first half as he's had all season.
3rd down and 6 for Lake Hamilton as they move left to right here in the 2nd quarter. Bradley gives it off to Tevin Woodley, and Brass Gallagher doing a great job in the middle for Benton with the tackle at the 34-yard line. 4 yards shy of the 1st down, and Lake Hamilton's going to punt it away.
Man, Gallagher's having a big half this half. he is really shutting down the middle of that field, and that's a huge third down hold for the Panther defense, and we're going to get that ball back, Jim.
Gavin Wells stands back at the Benton 25 to receive the punt from Spencer Hilliard. There's the snap. Hilliard, again, a high punt that's going to hit at the 31, take a Lake Hamilton roll, and is going to be downed at the Benton 20-yard line. Dio, really good first half for Trey Maxwell and Bryce Gallagher on defense for the Panthers.
Yeah, they are having a fantastic half. But we've got to mention Caleb Kaufman and Brett Barbary because they're the guys that are making it possible for Gallagher to get in there. On that play to Tevin Woodley right there, Kaufman did a great job, took on a double team and stood both of those guys up, making that room for Gallagher to be able to get in there and make that tackle. So defensive line and linebackers tonight, and box play is outstanding by Benton.
5:44 to go in the first half. It's Benton football, first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Game's tied at 7-all here at Lake Hamilton. Two undefeated teams battling for the top spot in the 6A West, and now a penalty flag comes flying in, and I believe the Panthers got a timeout before the delay of game, and that's exactly what happened. Brad Harris called the timeout, and the offense will go over and visit with he and Randy Shaw and Jason Gentry, the Panther offensive coaching staff. Let me tell you something about Caleb Kaufman. He's one of my favorite young men on this football team, and he and I visited today down on the field before the game, and he had this big grin on his face. He said, "This is the kind of offense I love playing against." And as Dio mentioned, you know, kind of the unsung guys, the Justin Walkers, the Caleb Kaufman,
right.
the Brett Barbarys, they occupy linemen so Bryce Gallagher can get his name called.
That's exactly right, and that was a great point by Dio. And you know, same for the offensive line. You know, we had a huge night rushing the football last week. Well, it was made because of those five guys up front.
So following the timeout, it's 1st and 10 Panthers. Set up the screen to Braden Murdoch, and Murdoch breaks a couple of tackles. Not going to break the third one at the 26-yard line, but tell you, you'll take 6 yards on a first down screen pass to the senior.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely will. He made me a little nervous the way he was holding that football, but we'll take those 6 yards. You know, I think we may see a lot of that underneath screen because they will kind of open up the middle of the field when they drop those linebackers into coverage.
Empty gun for Brown on 2nd down and 4. Throws DeAnthony Harper open, breaks a tackle. DeAnthony Harper on the 3rd level, carrying tacklers to the 48-yard line. That's a gain of 22 and a Benton first down.
Yeah, it was a great route that time, finding that little open space in the seam, and Garrett got the ball to him. He was able to get downfield, and look at him just bulldozing 4 or 5 Lake Hamilton players.
Seen D. Buddy carry tacklers. We've seen Gavin Wells carry tacklers. Benton playing hard in this second quarter. Brown drops back, going deep, has a man. That's Peyton Hudgens. Touchdown! Touchdown, Peyton Hudgens. Finally, he gets in the end zone, his first of the year. It was a long time coming, but 52 yards, Garrett Brown to Peyton Hudgens.
And what a pass.
Beautiful.
He threw that ball with the 2 defenders behind Peyton, and Peyton split them, and he dropped it right there in his hands in full stride. What a pass by Garrett Brown, and what a touchdown by Peyton Hudgens.
So the Panthers have scored back-to-back touchdowns through the air, big plays, and Brian Araujo will kick the extra point. And Brian Araujo splits the uprights just like Peyton Hudgens split the defenders. And the Panthers are now up 14-7. Dio, you got to like what you're seeing, the Panther passing game.
Boy, I do, but I tell you what I like even more than that. I like how Lake Hamilton's trying to defend that overload to one side. Next time we get on offense, I want everybody to pay attention to whichever side of the field we put 4 receivers to, because they are completely wiping out Lake Hamilton's defensive backfield. The linebackers are sliding out. That's why D-Buddy was able to catch that pass wide open in the middle. If Lake Hamilton keeps doing that all night, I guarantee you Coach Ray is going to take advantage of it over and over again until they start moving some of those guys back in the box, which is just going to give us numbers on the outside. So it's kind of a pick your poison deal. You can't say enough about the pass right there to score the touchdown, but pay attention to that formation next time and how the defense lines up against it.
When it comes to the chess match, Terry, I'll take Justin Ray every time.
Fact. Absolutely. I mean, he really showed last week. He made the comment. He said, "I think I finally figured out Greenwood's defense," and he certainly did.
The defense had given up 101 points all year. The Panthers able to put 45 on the board last week. And Benton has put 14 on the board here in this second quarter to take a 14-7 lead as Brian Araujo kicks off. Boy, good high hanging kick that is fielded by Broughton at the 9. He's over the 25 to the 30 to the 31. A good return by Broughton of 22 yards, and Lake Hamilton will have it 1st and 10 at their own 31.
Well, this is going to be an important series right here for the Panther defense. A good 3 and out right here could change the whole complexity of this ball game.
So the Lake Hamilton offense huddles and comes to the line of scrimmage. 2 tight ends, 1 to each side, a wing back to the left, fullback, and a halfback to the right. They're going to run Owen Miller to the left, and Miller is going to run very, very hard. Boy, Owen Miller had Justin Walker on his back. And Miller picks up 8 yards, an impressive run by the sophomore running back for the Wolves.
Well, I think he ought to have to share 4 of those yards with Luke Dodd that time, the right tackle who basically had him by the jersey and was pulling him downfield. It's a great job by the offensive lineman supporting his running back.
2nd down and 2, Lake Hamilton just shy of their own 40-yard line. The wingback Rhodes comes in motion. First man through, Tevin Woodley. And the Panthers that time were ready as Justin Walker and Brett Barbary hit him and bring him down shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and inches.
Justin Walker's a mountain. I mean, every snap you've got to really deal with him.
Colin Yandel is in there for the Panthers at noseman. And now we're going to get a measurement as the officials huddle up over the football. Just shy of the 41, and they are going to bring the chains on to measure. They stretch the chain out, and it is going to be inches shy of the 1st down. 3rd down and inches upcoming for Lake Hamilton.
Well, the Panthers need to be really disciplined here. They don't need to over-pursue and wind up giving something to the outside. They've just got to keep everything in front of them.
Panthers with 8 in the box now. Cade Clark is going to come in tight as Lake Hamilton doesn't split anybody out. 8-man box, 3 safeties for Benton on 3rd down and inches. Owen Miller gets the carry running left, and he's going to have the 1st down to the 44-yard line. 1st down, Lake Hamilton with 3:07 to go in the 1st half.
This is the kind of football game that for all of the old football guys, you all have to love this. This is good old-fashioned, as they call it, slobber knocker football.
Slobber knocker at its best right here. 1st down and 10, Lake Hamilton. Benton leading 14-7 with 2:55 and counting in the 2nd quarter. So Wolves come to the line of scrimmage. The Benton defense gets set. And they go Owen Miller coming to the near side. Miller finds a crease and is tripped up over the 50-yard line, falls forward to the Benton 49-yard line. Terry, I am impressed by this sophomore running back who came in with over 1,200 yards rushing for Lake Hamilton through 8 games.
Well, I mean, he's a good athlete, and he really picks his holes well. He doesn't get in a hurry. He just waits until the hole opens and then explodes through it.
That buck sweep, the trademark of the wing T offense, Owen Miller runs it to perfection. That time they run Tevin Woodley, and the Benton defense played that to perfection as Gallagher and Barbary again in on the tackle for the Panthers at the line of scrimmage. may give him about a half yard. It'll be 3rd down and a long 3.
Boy, they really did do a good job that time, and Jackson Drury in that mix as well. It's kind of hard to call who made the tackle because there's 4 or 5 jerseys that'll get up.
3rd down and 3, Lake Hamilton with 1:40 in the first half. Bradley, play action. He's looking deep. Benton had it covered well, and Brett Barbary sacks him. Back at the 39-yard line, Benton had the one receiver in the pattern double covered. Bradley had nowhere to go with it, and Brett Barbary records his 9th sack of the season.
Now, look, Barbary is 6'3", 240 pounds, but don't let that fool you. He can run, too. And he chased the quarterback down that time from behind, made a huge sack, and now the Panthers are going to get the ball back with 1:20-something seconds left to go in the halftime. And, Jim, you said something about 9 o'clock, and it's 7:48, and we're almost to halftime.
We're on pace. I want to go down to Dio, though. Dio, the Panther defense, double coverage on the receiver that time. Great job of discipline.
That was a great job of discipline. It's super easy against a team like this to lose your eye discipline as a defensive back because everything looks the same. I mean, it seems like every play looks identical, so you just get kind of lulled to sleep. That's why you only have to pass it 6 times a game because it's usually pretty effective when you do, except for when Brett Barbary's chasing the quarterback, and then it's not so much.
A little more complicated then.
4th down and 14. Lake Hamilton to punt it away. Hilliard kicks, and Gavin Wells is going to call for a fair catch and drop to his knees to haul it in at the 24. So it's been a second quarter dominated by the Panthers, Terry. 1 timeout in your back pocket, 1:18 to go, and you're leading by 7.
Yeah, it's and you have an offense that's capable of a quick strike. This is a good position for the Panthers right now.
Benton has burned Lake Hamilton with big passes in this second quarter. We'll see if that's the MO here with 1:18 to go in the half as Garrett Brown looks to the sideline to have the play signaled in by Randy Shaw. Boy, what a good crowd across the way of Benton Panther fans here tonight cheering on the Maroon Machine as Brown drops back. He fires a dart over the head of Gavin Wells. It was tipped by Broughton and fell harmlessly to the turf. Garrett Brown threw a fastball, Terry, but it was about 6 feet over the head of his intended receiver.
Yeah, Garrett's got to work on his footwork because he's not getting his feet set, and when he doesn't do that, his accuracy goes off the charts, and he's just got to do a better job of setting his feet.
2nd down, he set his feet well that time and got the pass out to Peyton Hudgens, who eluded multiple attempts at a tackle. A flag lies where Hudgens caught the football at the 32-yard line. Hudgens stepped out around the 35 as the officials visit to sort out the marker.
Well, there was contact, but I couldn't see who it was on.
Afraid we may get a pick play against the Panthers over there on that pass as the Benton offense is now backing up. Pass interference against Benton. That's exactly what they're going to call a pick play to get Hudgens open.
Well, I didn't know who they would call it on. That's why I hesitated to make an assumption there because there was clear contact, but it didn't involve the guy that caught the ball. So Panthers going to be faced with a long 2nd down here.
Yeah, penalty moves it back to the 17. Going to set up the screen pass, and DeAnthony Harper unable to come up with it. It'll be 3rd down and 19 for Benton with 59 seconds to go in the second quarter.
You know, the way they're dropping their linebackers here, it might not be a bad play call to run that delayed screen that we saw for the first time last week and just see if we can't keep that clock running.
Lake Hamilton has 2 timeouts remaining. Benton with 1 as Wells comes in motion. They give it to DeAnthony Harper, and he didn't fool Caleb Smith as they tried a little delay give to Harper off the jet sweep motion. And Caleb Smith, who has 8 tackles for loss to lead Lake Hamilton, coming in with the tackle for loss back at the 14-yard line, and Lake Hamilton does take a timeout. Dio, as we go down to you, Benton's going to have to punt it away from deep in their own territory.
Yeah, well, I agree with Terry. It probably would have been a pretty good call if we were going to run the ball on that 3rd and long, maybe do that delayed draw, because that seemed to work pretty well last week. But you know what? The good news is Lake Hamilton's offense is not set up to be quick strike if we can get a good punt off, and that's really the key. So Coach Rusty Davis is over there coaching up his troops, trying to get them fired up. He was before Coach Harris went out there, so we're going to probably see a pretty fired up punt team here to protect golly, I can't talk tonight. Preston Parker. I'm trying to remember names off the top of my head. It's escaping me.
It's been a long week, Dio.
No, listen, I'm telling you, the cold down here is brutal. I'm freezing. So my brain's not working too well.
Barker takes the snap from Barbary, and it is going to be blocked. Lake Hamilton blocks it, and the Wolves are going to have it inside the Benton 5-yard line, 1st and goal.
Well, these are the mistakes that you just can't make, and every time they lose focus, they're putting themselves in a hole. Now this PDC is backed up with their backs against the wall with only 48 seconds left.
Boy, that's a dagger right before halftime. Is coming in to block it, Hunter Hanna, the sophomore, in Lake Hamilton. They actually mark it at the 6-yard line. 1st down and goal for Lake Hamilton. Wolves are going to hand it off to Owen Miller. Panthers doing a good job on the edge. Stop him at the line of scrimmage as Dylan Burnham was there to set the edge for the Benton defense. It's 2nd down and goal. Clock at 30 seconds and counting. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. Lake Hamilton to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal at the Benton 6. Bradley under center, takes the snap, rolls to his right, pressured. He dumps it off. The catch is made by Woodley as he flipped it high in the air, able to bring it down a second time. And Woodley is going to be marked out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Actually, a catch for a loss of 1, and it'll be 3rd and goal.
Boy, Kane Simmons really closed on that real fast, and then Cade Clark, good job of wrapping the receiver up and getting him down on the ground.
3rd down and goal, Lake Hamilton at the Benton 7, following a blocked punt. Bradley under center, Rhodes in motion. They're going to give it to Miller on the inside, trap, and he scores. Owen Miller, touchdown as Gavin Wells hit him at the 2. Miller able to get to the end zone, and Lake Hamilton's an extra point away from tying it with 11 seconds to go.
Well, let's go back to the punt. You know, there were so many things that went wrong on that punt. The punt protection was bad, the snap was slow, and the punter got the ball off real slow too. And when you put all those things together, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Spencer Hilliard on for the extra point. The hold by Bradley is good. The kick by Hilliard is good. And with 11 seconds to go in the first half, we are all tied 14 apiece. Stay with us at halftime. The Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. Benton Junior High Panther football coach Matt McBride will come down and join us and talk about the junior high football season. Dio, boy, special teams that's been so good for the Panthers all season. Just uncharacteristic with the punt block there.
Yeah, well, you know, can't do anything about that now. The good news is get the ball coming out of halftime. So we're going to be able to have an opportunity to get that lead back. Would have been nice to have scored on our last drive and then go into halftime getting the ball back with an opportunity to go up 28-7. But we can live with 21-14. You know, just got to do a good job here of holding on to the ball on this kickoff return.
So Spencer Hilliard will kick off for Lake Hamilton. Game tied at 14 with 11 seconds to go in the first half. Hilliard kickoff is going to be short as he sky kicks it, fielded at the 20-yard line by Tim Kellum. And Kellum returns it over the 25, bobbled the football, and I believe he got it back at the 31. Boy, the cold and the hands kind of falling apart here at the end of the half.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of discipline that we were really showing actually for the last 5 quarters. And in the last 5 minutes, we've kind of fallen apart. Hopefully, they'll get that corrected at halftime, and getting the ball back, like Dio said, we'll able to put something together.
As Garrett Brown comes onto the field, snap clock at 10 seconds. Panthers huddled and going to come to the line of scrimmage for what should be the final play of the first half. Harper in the backfield. Garrett Brown takes the snap. Going to set up the screen to Gavin Wells. Makes the catch. Running to the right over the 35-yard line. Gavin gets a block from DeAnthony Harper and is going to be stopped at the 40-yard line. So that'll go as a gain of 9 to end the first half. And the teams go to the halftime locker room all tied at 14. But Lake Hamilton carrying momentum into the locker room at halftime following the score in the last minute after the block punt. It is 14 apiece as we go to halftime, Terry.
Well, Dio, you're down there amongst them, but I don't like the body language I see of our players running off the field as compared to the home team.
Well, you ever kicked a hornet's nest, Terry?
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, I'm not going to say that word live on the air, what hornet gets when you kick its nest, but I think that the Panthers are mad as a hornet right now. I don't think their body language was discouraged from my angle down here. It seemed a little bit more angry. And
well,
I don't mind
good.
the anger. And when they walk into that broom closet locker room that Lake Hamilton put them in, I'm sure that's just going to make them even madder.
So maybe a Mad Panther will come out in the second half and do what they did last week when they went in tied at halftime and came back and played their best half of the season.
Boy, they did, and there's a lot to build on. I mean, we've seen exactly what we thought we would see in the first half, or actually in this game, and the Panthers, especially on offense, exploited it. But we just keep making mistakes, and they're our mistakes that are costing us dearly. And if the Panthers can correct that at halftime, then they should come out and put on another good half.
It is Farmers Bank and Trust halftime here tonight at Lake Hamilton. We're going to step aside and take a break, and when we come back, Matt McBride, the head coach of the Benton Junior High Panthers, will join us and talk about the junior high football season. All tied here tonight, Benton and Lake Hamilton, 14 apiece. This is Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride in the Benton Football Network.
Congo Fireplace and Patio has been Benton's go-to place for all your hearth needs since 1920. Stop by now and see over 20 live burning displays. With the South's largest selection of gas logs, gas inserts, and wood-burning stoves, Congo has what you need to heat your home this winter. Get any accessory you need for your fireplace and stove in one place. Plus, see the largest selection of pellet stoves. With over 90 years of combined sales and service, there's no other place to shop.
Are you looking for something different and better? Then check out the all-new, redesigned 2019 GMC Sierra from Everett. The next generation Sierra has an impressive new look and more capability than ever before. You'll love Sierra's industry-leading new features, like the exclusive Multi-Pro tailgate. The new 2019 GMC Sierra. It's different and better, just like the buying experience at Everett Buick GMC and everettbgmc.com.
We're extremely community oriented in Benton, and that's the same thing that we have at Cornerstone. A lot of the things that Cornerstone enables me to do, the great experience that we provide, it allows the customer to focus on what's really important in their life and not just getting their loan. We're going to take care of that part so that they can get to watching their kids' football game or to that recital that's important to them, and that's what really matters.
Jones Heating and Air, located at 520 Edison Avenue in Benton, specializes in residential, commercial, and new construction HVAC systems and offers 24-hour service. Jones is a proud supporter of Benton Panther Athletics, the Saline County Boys and Girls Club, and youth sports at Benton's Riverside Park. Find out more at jonesheatingandair.com or call 501-778-3324.
Welcome back to Benton Panther football tonight on 106.7 The Ride and the Benton Football Network. We are in the Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. Benton and Lake Hamilton all tied at 14. And our halftime guest tonight is Matt McBride, the head coach of the Benton Junior High Panthers. Matt, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jim.
Yeah, we don't get this privilege very often. A coach that's in the press box. What did you see in that first half up there?
Well, it's kind of what you expect to get when you play a team like Lake Hamilton. They're gonna eat the clock up when they have the ball on offense, and I think we had 21 or 22 snaps right there. So anytime you only, we're up tempo type of offense, and anytime we only snap it 21 or 22 times in a half, it's really hard to establish some rhythm, establish momentum. We're fortunate there to hit them on two big plays in the passing game. So I know they're in there making some adjustments right now, and for us, we just got to settle down and play football and do what we do, and we should be fine.
So let's talk about the junior high season. I want to start with the last 3 weeks. You've beaten Little Rock Catholic, Little Rock Central, and Cabot South. I mean, if it was the 7A Central Conference in high school, Benton would be sitting pretty, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of struggled with some injuries earlier in the season, and some of those injuries have been season-long injuries, and we've kind of had to make some adjustments. Some key guys have been out, but the last 3 weeks, we've really kind of put some things together and kind of changed our identity a little bit on kind of some things that we were trying to do on both offense and defense. And yeah, I'm proud of what we've done the last 3 weeks, and look forward to a big task next Tuesday night.
Yeah, you started the season with Pulaski Academy, very good game, and came up just short in that one. Then you win at Conway White,
right.
A Conway White team that's battling for the second spot in the conference. This was a really good win to open conference play back in week 2.
Yeah, absolutely. We were fortunate enough to get out there with a 1-point win again at their place, and early in the year you don't really know where you stand and where everyone else is, but as the season's gone on, it's obvious that Conway White is sure enough a real football team, and they're doing a really good job. So looking back on it now, 8 weeks later, it was a really big win for us.
And then the injury bug hit.
Absolutely.
And then you kind of went into a skid. But you talked about the team recovering and finding an identity. What is that identity, would you say, offense and defense?
Well, for us offensively, we've kind of jumped on the back of Donovan Pearson. He's been carrying the ball for us a lot. We really have become a run-first, run-heavy offense, and our offensive line is playing well, and we're having to kind of almost play a little Lake Hamilton style, just kind of grinding some things out and kind of slowing the game down a little bit. And last night over at Cabot, our defense really won the ball game for us right now. We went back and watched it on film today, and you got guys flying to the football, and that's what we're always preaching to the kids. So offensively for us, it's been the run game behind not only Donovan but Jamarius Morgan as well, and getting the ball out to Abros and letting him do some things at the receiver position, and defensively just flying to the ball.
Talk about that defense, because that game last night, boy, you almost let Cabot South come back from the dead in that one, and then Walker Davis with a sack to preserve the win.
Yeah, we got ourselves into the ball game where we just need to get a couple first downs and make them use their timeouts, and kind of every coach's nightmare. We're in the victory formation, and it's called that for a reason, and we end up turning the football over, and then once again I have to jump on the backs of our defense, and like I said, Walker got the big sack, and we had a couple big plays made in the secondary, rallied to the ball on a pass that, for a second there I thought they may take it down the sideline and score, but we got him down, and right there kind of fortunate to get out with a win, but any way we can get it, we'll take it.
Talk about some of the guys on that defense that have stood out to you this year.
You mentioned Walker Davis. He's playing defensive end for us, along with Hunter Goodwin, the other defensive end. Jake Jones, playing middle linebacker for us, has had a phenomenal year. He's a high motor guy playing on offense and defense, and he's a guy that, kind of the last couple of weeks we've moved him around. He's really an offensive lineman type, but we've played him in the backfield some, and I guess in the secondary, Noah Cook, a guy that didn't start the year off really a big part of our defensive plan. He's came along, had a couple of big pass breakups last night, and got a big interception. So, we're really like where we're at right now. I wish that we could have had a little bit better middle of the year, but it's not really always how you start, but how you finish.
There you go. And you mentioned Donovan Pearson offensively. Boy, he was huge last night on both sides of the ball for you.
Absolutely. He's just a big, strong, physical kid, and there's times with Donovan that he's hurting a little bit. You can see it in his face. You can see it in the way he's carried himself. But if you ever ask that young man, can you go? It's yes, sir. Every time it's yes, sir. And he's he's a guy it's gonna take more than a few bumps and bruises to keep him out.
Yeah, let's talk about your 8th grade team too. It's been a really good year, 5 wins thus far for the 8th graders. Talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, I really like this 8th grade group. I start my day off every morning at 7 o'clock with those guys, and they just have that lunch pail, lunchbox mentality. They show up every morning and ready to go to work, and they've came a long way. We're fortunate enough we got those guys back in May and just started kind of installing our offense and our defense with them, and they've been a real pleasure to work with all year. And I look forward to not only next week, but going into the off season with them and seeing what they can do next year as 9th graders.
Yeah, and you always run the danger of signaling out people, but I've got to ask you about Chris Bernard, a young man who has absolutely blown me away with his athletic ability at running back for you in the 8th grade.
Yeah, Chris he's kind of in a similar situation as Donovan. We've had some injuries kind of behind him, guys that would normally kind of spell him a little bit, so we've just kind of had to just keep giving it to him and keep letting him do his thing. And then, if you get a chance to come out and watch us next Tuesday night, you can see that he's a physical kid. I don't know that there's been very many times this year where there's been one person tackling. I mean, it's usually a scrum to get him down, 2, 3 guys trying to get in there, and he just keeps his legs moving. And he's certainly a talented young man with a bright future.
Yeah, and as we've seen, if he's in the open field, we haven't seen anybody that's going to catch him.
Yeah, I know, and even now it still kind of surprises me because it looks like in our league, as well as anybody, there's speed from everyone we play. There's speed all over the field, and there's times where I'm on the sideline and I'm convinced that somebody's got the angle on him and he just keeps drifting away from him. So I'm excited to have him in track as well. You know, he's a guy that can flat run.
The conference is so tough.
It is.
You're basically playing a 7A schedule with the exception of Lake Hamilton. Talk about how difficult the competition is in the CAG, Central Arkansas Junior High Conference.
Yeah, I mean, you look at your schedule, and at the beginning of the year you're looking at the schedule, and other places that I've been at or just any schedule you look at, you can usually identify a couple gimmies, and there's just not one. There's never a week where you go into it knowing that, we're going to get to rest some guys or this should be, subs playing in the second half. It's never like that in this league. I mean, like I said, there's not only the speed but just the size. I mean, it's I come from a background of kind of smaller high school football, and there's teams in our conference that I really believe 9th grade teams that could probably make a run in the playoffs in some of these 2A and 3A conferences around the state.
And the scary thing is you may see one of those teams next Tuesday night in Bryant to conclude the season.
Yeah, absolutely. The way our schedule is set up, whoever we play during the game week, Bryant played them the week before. So we've got 7 or 8 films on Bryant. So anytime we're scouting for next week and breaking down film for the next week's opponent, it's always against Bryant, and that's an impressive group. That is a very impressive group. They've got some big kids up front on both offense and defensive lines, and skill guys for days. I mean, if you see one or two guys coming off the field, the only thing changes is the number. I mean, the size, the speed doesn't change a bit.
Yeah, what's scary for Panther fans is as impressive as Bryant's been at the high school level, their 9th grade team has been equally as impressive this year.
Absolutely. They got a bright future in that program for sure.
Yeah. So Benton and Bryant will conclude the junior high football season not on Thursday but on Tuesday night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And before we get off here, I want to make sure I recognize both my assistant coach, my offense coordinator, Coach Josh Brown, done a really good job for us and kind of heading up a lot of our offensive changes. And, of course, Garrett Parker, our defensive coordinator, he's doing a great job and has those guys playing hard on defense. And also want to thank the parents of my 8th and 9th grade teams. A group of mothers have taken over the pregame meals for me, and that's really been a huge help. And, of course, the dads taking care of the chains and on home games, and just very fortunate to get to lead these guys, but very fortunate to have the community support I have and the coaching staff that I have, and I appreciate you and the way you cover us and getting us stats every Thursday night. It means a lot to me.
It's a big team effort, and it's a lot of fun. I tell you, if you've not taken in a Benton Junior High football game this year, come out to the Benton Sports Complex Tuesday night. 8th grade will kick off at 5:30.
Yes, sir.
And the freshman game will follow as Benton and Bryant will conclude the junior high conference season. Matt, we'll let you go. Appreciate you dropping by, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good luck Tuesday against Bryant. Matt McBride, the head coach of the Benton Junior High Panthers, our guest on tonight's Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. We'll step aside for a break and come back with first half stats. This is Benton Panther football on the Benton Football Network and 106.7 The Ride.
Are you looking for something different and better? Then check out the all-new, redesigned 2019 GMC Sierra from Everett. The next generation Sierra has an impressive new look and more capability than ever before. You'll love Sierra's industry-leading new features, like the exclusive Multi-Pro tailgate. The new 2019 GMC Sierra. It's different and better, just like the buying experience at Everett Buick GMC and everettbgmc.com.
We're extremely community-oriented in Benton, and that's the same thing that we have at Cornerstone. A lot of the things that Cornerstone enables me to do, the great experience that we provide, it allows the customer to focus on what's really important in their life and not just getting their loan. We're going to take care of that part so that they can get to watching their kids' football game or to that recital that's important to them, and that's what really matters.
Welcome back to Lake Hamilton for the Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. Benton and Lake Hamilton all tied at 14 at halftime. Across the 6A West tonight, Greenwood leads Sheridan at halftime 35-0. Terry, I think Greenwood's mad.
Yeah.
And they are taking it out on the Yellow Jackets. That second half will be played under the mercy rule. Siloam Springs leads Little Rock Hall 21-0 at halftime. Across Saline County tonight, Bryant and North Little Rock in a good one, 21-14 Hornets. Arkadelphia and Bauxite are playing at the Pit tonight, and the Badgers lead the Miners 14-7 at halftime. And Glen Rose in a big game up at Atkins, and the Beavers lead the Red Devils 21-7 in the second quarter. As we look at the halftime stats, Mason, if you'd punch those up on the screen for us. First downs, Lake Hamilton 8, Benton 7. Benton just 28 rushing yards in the first half. Lake Hamilton 31 rushes for 128 yards. But the passing yards, that's where it flips. Benton 187 passing in the first half. Lake Hamilton just 18. So Benton, despite running 14 less plays, outgains Lake Hamilton 215 to 146. Third down conversions, Terry, Benton at 50%, but Lake Hamilton with 9 attempts on third down converted 4.
Yeah, they're snapping the ball more. That's the bottom line. But, you know, when you look at this, it really you see a match of the scoreboard. You see two different styles, but you see an even ball game, and you look at the scoreboard, and that's what you're going to find, 14-14 at half. With about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left at halftime, the Panthers have really played well at times, Jim, but they've struggled with some discipline at times as well, as has Lake Hamilton. Lake Hamilton has had a few plays where they have not executed the best that they could. And so I'm expecting the second half to be as tight as the first half, and that's really what we ought to expect from a championship game, right?
Yes, sir. Panther passing game efficient in that first half. Garrett Brown 8 of 12 for 122 yards. Gavin Wells 1 of 1 for 55 yards. The two Benton scores came on big plays. Brown lateraled to Wells, who threw downfield to Jaden Nash for a 55-yard touchdown with 7:59 to go in the second quarter. And then Benton scored again on a 3-play, 80-yard drive in just a minute with 4:44 to go in the first half. Garrett Brown to Peyton Hudgens for 52 yards. But Lake Hamilton controlled time of possession in that first half. Benton should have gone into halftime with a lead, but a blocked punt by the Wolves in the final minute of that first half set them up for a 6-yard touchdown drive to tie the game at 14 here at halftime.
You know, Dio talked about some of the players being mad coming off the field, and I know that they were mad at themselves for not executing on a few plays. But I will tell you this, I don't think Lake Hamilton has helped that any, because some of our players were having to stand outside at halftime because there wasn't enough room in the locker room. And, it's those little bitty things like that, Jim, that can really fire a team up going in to a second half.
Credit Lake Hamilton's defense. DeAnthony Harper, after earning Arkansas Prep's Player of the Week last week, just 4 yards rushing in that first half for D-Buddy.
Yeah.
Had 1 catch for 22 yards. Gavin Wells, 3 catches, 29 yards. Peyton Hudgens led the Panthers, receiving 3 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Garrett Brown, actually the leading rusher for Benton in that first half with a 5-yard carry. So, yes, he was.
Yeah.
Gavin Wells had 4, DeAnthony Harper 4. When was the last time Garrett Brown led us in rushing in a half? So, but if I know Brad Harris and Justin Ray and Bobby Wynn, as we've come to know them over the years, Terry, I know the Panthers have adjusted at halftime.
Yes, they have, and you saw some really good adjustments last week. And here come the Panthers.
Yeah, and Panthers will receive the second half kickoff. Struggling to find Dio down there, is he?
I think he's struggling to find Coach Harris.
Oh, there he is, waving at us. He's all bundled up down there. Must be getting cold. Dio, why don't you weigh in with your halftime thoughts, and then
Well, I'm gonna try to, but we got a kind of an interesting setup, so I got to get back over here closer to midfield so my microphone will work. But I got Coach Harris coming up. All right, Coach. No, you're good. Same as last week. I mean, you're going into a 0-0 ball game for the second half. What are the plans?
Well, like we said all year, we don't do anything easy. We had an opportunity to have a lead at halftime, and we bust a punt, and they block it. But anyway, we feel good about some things we got going. We got to get the run game going. We haven't done a real good job. They've dominated us in the box right now, so we feel good about that. We've made a couple of little tweaks with run game stuff, but that's the biggest thing, Dio, right now. We got to run the football a little bit, get our defense off the field, make a few plays. We hit 2 big plays. We feel like we can big play them and shot them, but we've got to take care of the football a little bit better. First drive.
How are you feeling about your defense right now? They seem to be doing pretty well.
We've done well. They've hit us with a couple of things that they've had to go to because we've stopped the buck pretty decent. They're running the fullback trap a little bit more than what we've seen. So we've made a couple of tweaks on that. Hopefully we can make an adjustment. Biggest thing is got to wrap up. They busted a couple of tackles. They run the ball tough. But I like what we're doing defense. We're flying around, giving them some fits. They're having to reach into the playbook just a little bit deeper than what we've seen.
I like it. Go get them, Coach. All right, guys.
Yeah, Dio, Owen Miller, 95 of the 145 yards rushing in the first half for Lake Hamilton.
Yeah, he's a tough back. I mean, for a sophomore to know that we're going to have to contend with that guy for another 2 years, he's a good running back. But, a lot of that, I think, comes from their scheme. I mean, give any of our running backs those kind of lanes that he's been getting.
Yeah,
that misdirection stuff is so tough. So, credit a lot of that to the scheme because we saw him last year in junior high and he wasn't any more impressive than any other running back. But like Coach Harris said, made some tweaks. Let's pay attention to how well that fullback trap works for Lake Hamilton because I think they're going to try to go to that because that's been working. And I'm curious to see what tweaks that we've made in our running game to get that going because he's right. If we can establish that run game and drink some clock on our end, it's just going to make it even harder on Lake Hamilton.
Panthers with 18 yards rushing in the first half, 13 yards rushing. Terry, that's as anemic a rush effort in a half as we've seen from a Benton offense in a long time, and Brad Harris obviously emphasizing that at halftime.
Well, but a lot of that has to do with what the defense is given. That's kind of a Justin Ray style is if you load up on the run, we may run to keep you honest, but, he's going to throw the ball more than he's going to run. And right now, Lake Hamilton's rush defense is for real. They're only averaging 104 yards a game, giving up 104 yards a game. And, those guys are they play the run very well. And I think that's their defensive philosophy is they're going to stop the run and force you to beat them in the air.
Tell you what the Panthers can have in the second half. They can't have any gifts to Lake Hamilton. Had a fumble in the red zone, had a block punt deep in their own end of the field. Got to eliminate that in the second half if you want to win a conference championship.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to win championships turning the ball over. It's just that simple.
So the Panthers will receive to open the second half. Both teams back to their sidelines. Panther kick return team on the field. Spencer Hilliard will kick off for Lake Hamilton. The Panthers will move right to left on your radio dial here in this third quarter. Really good crowd on both sides tonight for this big 6A West Conference matchup. Spencer Hilliard with it teed up. The Panthers with Jaden Nash and Andre Lane back deep to receive. And Andre Lane's going to field it at the 10. He's over the 20, comes to the center of the field, over the 25, and Lane is going to get to the 28-yard line, make it the 32, and that's where Benton will put it in play. First down to open the second half, tied at 14.
Andre does a really good job of getting upfield. He's got such speed that, man, you just kind of wish he would get a crease somewhere in the middle of that coverage where he could sprint through it and get a kick return touchdown.
So let's see what the Panthers do on the opening drive of the third quarter. Going to set with Harper and Wells in the backfield with quarterback Garrett Brown. Going to run the option to the right, pitch to Gavin Wells, and Wells is going to be pushed out of bounds on the Benton sideline at the 36. So Benton with a 3-yard gain on first down. It brings up 2nd and 7.
Well, that's kind of where you want. You want, I mean, anybody would love to have 6 yards on first down, but I'll take 3, and we're still moving the ball forward.
2nd down and 7 for the Panthers. Brown hands off to DeAnthony Harper running left. Harper outside, cuts inside, over midfield into Lake Hamilton territory, and that's a nice run by DeAnthony Harper of 15 yards and a Benton first down.
Yeah, it was a really good run that time. It was a great downfield block by Murdoch, too, giving him some outside help. And
a penalty lies at the 39, and a hold against Benton is going to bring it back.
They're gonna. I guess they're gonna call that on Murdoch. I wasn't watching the hole, but I saw that it was him out there, and D-Buddy did a good job at avoiding containment and then getting upfield once he got a lane, and Murdoch was his downfield blocker.
Penalty is going to move it back to the Benton 29-yard line, and it will be 2nd down and 14 for the Panthers. DeAnthony Harper run of 15, wiped out by a holding penalty. Now Benton going to go to the quick game, pass out to Gavin Wells. Gets good blocking outside. Gavin gets the first down to the 47-yard line. Good run by Gavin, but good blocking outside, Terry.
Yeah, it sure was, and Gavin did a good job of making a couple of guys miss there. That's really a big first down because that penalty had put us behind the sticks and had put us in a negative position, and it's good for the Panthers to wipe that off the board.
Mark it at the 46, gain of 17. To the ground with DeAnthony Harper, and DeAnthony picks up 4 to midfield. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Nice hard run that time by DeAnthony. Good little spin move there on the initial contact. Got him another yard.
Panthers picking up the tempo. We really never saw the Benton offense get in rhythm in that first half, trying to find it here in the second half. DeAnthony Harper with the carry, and he's over the 45 to the 44, about a half-yard shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard for Benton.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and very, very short. I'll tell you what, the Panthers have come out this half deciding that they're going to run the football.
Shades of last week. 3rd down and less than a yard at the Lake Hamilton 44-yard line. Opening drive of the second half, tied at 14 as Gavin Wells takes the direct snap, and he gets the first down to the Lake Hamilton 38, running behind Jesse Taylor and Kyrie Watkins. First down, Benton.
That's a good dynamic duo to run behind, too. They got a good push on the snap, and he just fell right behind them and made a little wiggle and got upfield for the first down.
4 receivers to the left. Brown throws to Wells out that way, gets good blocking, and now a flag comes in. Wells to the 31-yard line, but the side judge over here on the near side, throws the flag at the 36, and Benton going to be backed up by likely a holding
another
call.
hold.
Blocking the back.
I didn't see that.
Blocking the back against Benton, and they'll mark it off from the 36-yard line, Terry. Benton's going to have first down and 18. Empty gun for Garrett Brown on 1st and 18. 3 receivers to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Brown takes a snap, throws to Gavin Wells, makes the catch at the 40, and is hit immediately by Garrett Lynch. They're going to give Wells the 39, so Benton gets 7 yards back. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, it's a good positive play that time, getting back to the sticks, and Benton still got a long second down, but it's very manageable at this point.
2nd down and 11. They bunch 3 receivers to the right. Murdoch is the lone receiver to the left. Casey Johnson in the game at running back for the Panthers. Snap back to Brown. They're going to option to the right. Pitch to Casey. Casey, boy, there's that speed, Terry, to the 33-yard line. A gain of 6 for Casey. It'll be 3rd down and 5, Panthers.
Well, you hear about running back duos being thunder and lightning, and that is really D-Buddy and Casey Johnson. D-Buddy being the thunder, but Casey Johnson really is the lightning when that hole opens up.
3rd down and 5. Brown drops back. Good protection. Throws. Gavin Wells underneath, and Wells makes the catch and is going to be dumped for a yard loss by Gavin Robbins. And it'll be 4th down and 6, Panthers.
Yeah, that was that time the quarterback chose the wrong receiver. He was running right into that coverage and threw the pass to him, and there was really nowhere for him to run. The defense was on him as soon as he caught it.
With the ball at the Lake Hamilton 35, Brad Harris leaves the offense on the field. Panthers empty the backfield, 5 receiver set. Now Brown and the receivers look to the sideline. Play signaled in by Randy Shaw. Snap clock at 5. At 4, Brown takes the snap. He's looking right. Sets up the screen to Murdoch. Murdoch with the catch. Murdoch has the first down over the 20-yard line, down to the 17. A great play call. Picks up 18 yards on 4th and 7, and it's 1st down, Panthers.
What a great play call. The pressure was coming, and he threw right into where it came from. Murdoch was able to get upfield and get a huge first down for the Panthers.
First down in the red zone. Benton at the Lake Hamilton 17. The ball is in the center of the field with 7:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tied at 14. Going to give it to DeAnthony Harper running behind Kobe Reeves to the 15-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, another good run. That time he only got 2 yards, though, Jim, and that puts you in a long second down situation.
Brett Barbary is in at tight end. He's set to the left. Braxton Slaughter, the H-back, to the right. Gavin Wells split to the left. Peyton Hudgens split to the right. DeAnthony Harper in the backfield with quarterback Garrett Brown. Now the receivers come in tight. They're going to give it to Gavin Wells on the jet sweep running right. Penalty marker was thrown, and Wells is inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line, but a marker thrown, and I'm afraid we're going to get an illegal shift on Benton as 2 men were in motion at the snap.
Just little mental errors, one right after another, and these are drive killers. These guys have – there's only so many times that some of our good playmakers can bail us out of these negative situations.
We've got 2 Lake Hamilton Wolves injured on the play. Got one being assisted and one back up on his feet as Blake Stacey, the defensive end, is up. We've got another Wolf being checked by the medical staff. Now Tommy Gillerin, the head coach of Lake Hamilton, out on the field. And they are checking on sophomore outside linebacker Gavin Robbins for Lake Hamilton.
Well, all we can do is hope that he's going to be okay.
Let's step aside for a 1-minute break. This is Benton Panther football on the Benton Football Network and 106.7 The Ride.
We're extremely community-oriented in Benton, and that's the same thing that we have at Cornerstone. A lot of the things that Cornerstone enables me to do, the great experience that we provide, it allows the customer to focus on what's really important in their life and not just getting their loan. We're going to take care of that part so that they can get to watching their kids' football game or to that recital that's important to them, and that's what really matters.
Jones Heating and Air, located at 520 Edison Avenue in Benton, specializes in residential, commercial, and new construction HVAC systems and offers 24-hour service. Jones is a proud supporter of Benton Panther Athletics, the Saline County Boys and Girls Club, and youth sports at Benton's Riverside Park. Find out more at jonesheatingandair.com or call 501-778-3324.
It's Friday, so Panther fans are thinking about our...
It's good to see Gavin Robbins walking off the field under his own power. He was injured on that last play. Lake Hamilton sophomore outside linebacker. Terry, good to see him up and coming to the Lake Hamilton sideline.
Absolutely, and more importantly, coming to the sidelines on his own accord. With that many people surrounding a player, it gets kind of scary, and we're glad that that young man is going to be all right.
Harmony Grove leads Fountain Lake 21-0 at halftime in Haskell. So following the stoppage of play for the injury, Benton will have it 2nd down and 13. Gavin Wells had picked up positive yardage, but an illegal shift against the Benton offense assessed, and Benton ready to snap the football from the Wolf 20-yard line. So the officials visit momentarily with the Lake Hamilton coaches. Lake Hamilton tried to substitute, and the officials are going to force Braden Broughton back out onto the field, send Trent Singleton back to the Lake Hamilton sideline. The officials, Johnny on the spot right there. 2nd down and 13. Panthers at the Wolf 20. 7:07 to go in the third quarter. Wells in motion. They fake the jet sweep. Give to DeAnthony Harper running right. DeAnthony lowers his head, crosses the 15 down to the 14, running hard, and it'll be 3rd down Panthers at the Wolf 14.
Big down coming up for the Panther offense, and you don't want to put Brian Araujo in a situation where he's got to kick the go-ahead field goal, because it's cold out there, Jim. That's like kicking a rock.
3rd down and 7 Panthers at the Lake Hamilton 14-yard line. Harper and Wells in the backfield. Now Wells motions out of the backfield. Fake the swing pass to him. Brown setting up the screen and threw it wide of his intended receiver. He's tried to get it to DeAnthony Harper. And the throw off target incomplete, and it'll be 4th down, and Brian Araujo is coming onto the field to try a field goal. Ball on the right hash, and Araujo will set the tee down at the 21. A 31-yard field goal attempt for Araujo. Nolan Pope will snap. Braden Murdoch will hold. 6:20 to go in the third quarter, and the Panthers trying to take the lead here in this 6A West battle for supremacy. Hold down. Araujo's kick is up. Plenty of distance. It's good. Brian Araujo with the field goal. 31 yards, and the Panthers have regained the lead with 6:13 to go in the third quarter. 17-14. And Dio, that drive didn't end in the end zone, but very reminiscent of last week as the Panthers chew up the clock and get points to open the second half.
Yeah, and talk about a battle, too. I mean, we had to play to beat Lake Hamilton and beat the refs on that drive with all the penalties that we had. But good fight out of the Panther offense. I mean, we had third and long a couple times, 3rd and short a couple times. I don't know what the stats are going to show on that, but I'd be curious to see how many 3rd downs we had in that drive, and 1 4th down conversion, didn't we?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's what we saw against Greenwood last week, that, coming out of the half, we had a good long drive and drank some of that clock. And really against Lake Hamilton, if any kind of lead while drinking some clock is just a benefit to us.
68-yard drive, 5 minutes, 40 seconds, and the Panthers hit with 25 yards of penalties on that drive, Terry.
Well, just making it harder, man, and we're very fortunate to come away with points. That's a hard field goal to kick, and Brian Araujo just stepped up and proved himself to be a weapon for this team.
On a very cold night, Araujo gives the Panthers the lead, and now he kicks off. Braden Broughton slipped as he tried to field the football, picks it up, and he's going to be snowed under short of the 20-yard line. As the turf monster got him back at the 7, he's able to return it to the 17, and the Benton defense has forced Lake Hamilton to drive a long field now. Good kickoff by Araujo. Boy, how good has he been the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, you know, since he had that one injury at Cabot and missed a couple of weeks, oh, he didn't catch it. I was looking at the replay, and I thought to myself, hey, he may have been down, but he didn't catch it.
So Lake Hamilton, first down and 10 from their own 17. They go buck sweep to Owen Miller. He gets outside, breaks a tackle. Panthers tried to strip the ball. Cade Clark went for the strip. Miller held on to it, and Miller is to the 31. That'll be a first down for Lake Hamilton as Miller picks up 14.
What I was saying is the Araujo, since he came back from that injury, he has really turned into a weapon. He hasn't missed a field goal since he came back from that, and he was really struggling at the very first of the season.
4 for his last 4. And the fourth gave Benton the lead here in this third quarter as they go back to the ground with Miller. Boy, look at the Panther defense. String that out. Caden Simmons, the sophomore, with a tackle for loss back at the 28-yard line. Loss of 3. It'll be 2nd and 13.
And that was a big tackle by Kane Simmons. Took the runner's legs out from under him. Good job of coming up in run support and really laying the hammer down there on the outside edge.
Those two have gone toe-to-toe in 8th grade and 9th grade now. Miller and Simmons facing each other on the high school level. 2nd down and 13 as they go to the big fullback Woodley. He's got running room over the 35 to the 39, 40. Boy, Woodley, a strong run to the 42, and that'll be a first down for Tevin Woodley on the carry.
Let me tell you something. When 25's got the ball, you better be getting around his legs because you're not going to arm tackle him.
5'8", 190-pound sophomore for Lake Hamilton. Cade Smith finally able to corral him at the 42, but it's first down and 10 for Lake Hamilton. Bradley going to hand off to Miller running left. Boy, Benton played that one well, and that's going to go for a loss of 1. They're going to mark him back at the 41-yard line. So you win first down, you get them off schedule, 2nd down and 11.
That's right. Yeah, that's a negative play, and that's what we've got to have in 1st and 2nd down. We've got to have those negative plays that set up hard conversions for them.
Clock nearing 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Benton leads Lake Hamilton 17-14. 2nd down and 11 for the Wolves at their own 41-yard line. Panthers with 6 on the line, 2 at linebacker. Give to Miller on the inside trap. Terry, we saw that play burn the Panthers in the first half. The adjustment results in another loss for Miller. It'll be 3rd and 12.
It sure did, and Justin Walker just laid the boom on him. What a good stick right there in the middle of that defense, setting up a long 3rd down, and this is where we want. Now, everybody's got to play disciplined here and not give up a big play.
They actually gave Miller the 41. It is 3rd down and 11. Trip receiver shotgun for Lake Hamilton. Bradley takes a snap, rolls out. He's going deep. He's overthrowing his intended receiver, Destin Rhodes, as Lake Hamilton uncharacteristically, Terry, throws the bomb, and Bradley overthrew Rhodes.
He did, but you know, that actually was a good play for them because Cade Clark had him covered up. And if he underthrows that ball like we saw him doing in pregame, Cade will take that the other direction.
So Lake Hamilton going to be forced to punt on 4th down and 11. Spencer Hilliard, who's had a really good night punting the football for Lake Hamilton, will punt it away. Gavin Wells back deep to receive for Benton. Hilliard this time a wobbler off the side of his foot. that's going to go out of bounds on the Lake Hamilton sideline. And keep coming, side judge. Now he's going to stop at the 42-yard line. So that is a 17-yard shank for Hilliard, and Benton's going to have it at the 42. Boy, Dio, when you can get their offense off schedule, good things happen.
That's exactly right. That offense is not built to play from behind. Defense doing a really good job. You saw that tweak work right there. They tried to run that little trap that they did, and it was stuffed immediately. So that's good to see. Need to see a good drive out of our offense here. Let's see if we can get a 6 points instead of 3. That would be a lot better.
And how big would a 2-score lead be late in the third quarter against a ground-oriented offense? Panthers go to the ground themselves with DeAnthony Harper, and Harper is going to pick up 40 yards to the 46. Good gain on first down, running behind Jesse Taylor and Kyrie Watkins. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, you said ground-oriented offense, and then they snapped the ball. I was about to say, you're about to see a whole lot of ground-oriented offense right now.
Brown going to throw. Quick screen out to Wells. And again, Gavin gets good blocking outside. Look at Kyrie Watkins pull him all the way down to the Lake Hamilton 43. That's your right tackle downfield, doing everything he can to help his wide receiver get more yards.
That's your right tackle getting downfield to help, and then having the smarts, because he's been well coached, to grab his ball carrier and pull him forward another 2 yards.
Pulled him forward for a 12-yard gain. First down and 10, Benton at the Lake Hamilton 42. 2:30 to go in the third quarter. Benton leads 17-14. Wells and Murdoch to the right, Slaughter and Nash to the left, and it's a give off to Casey Johnson. Casey with running room to the 30-yard line. That's a 13-yard gain on first down. Boy, Casey's burst, Terry, ripping off yards.
Yeah, man, he's just got such good speed, and that time he wanted to go inside, but there was no room to run, and so he just bounced it out and then was able to find a seam and get north and south, and it was just a nice run by Casey Johnson.
That time running behind Garrett Davis and Tristan Redd. It's 1st and 10, Benton at the Lake Hamilton 30. Go back to Casey Johnson. Casey, this time following the center of the line, and the Panther offensive line making their presence known on this drive. 6 yards for Johnson. It's 2nd and 4.
Yeah, that's just another great job by the offensive line, just pushing the entire pile forward. All Casey had to do is just run behind them and then fall forward, which he also did a good job of.
Lake Hamilton shuffling defensive lineman. Brown, quick pass out to Gavin Wells, and Wells is going to pick up the first down inside the 20-yard line, and Benton is back in the red zone for the second time in this second half. It'll be 1st down and 10, Panthers at the Lake Hamilton 18.
Great job that time by Gavin Wells getting upfield. Got good downfield blocking that time. Gave him enough space to get the first down.
Panther offense has dominated time of possession in this third quarter against Lake Hamilton. Brown drops back. Brown looking. Brown throwing. And he wisely, Terry, threw that one away as Gavin Wells was covered up by Garrett Lynch in the end zone.
Well, he had 3 receivers downfield, and all 3 of them were covered up. That was just a good play by the quarterback, just throwing that ball away.
And credit Lake Hamilton's secondary that time. Nowhere for Brown to throw as DeAnthony Harper comes back in, replacing Casey Johnson. Wells is going to set up in the backfield with Harper on 2nd down and 10 at the Lake Hamilton 18. Panthers go with the hard count. Lake Hamilton moved but didn't encroach. So the Panthers will reset the offense. And the play is a give to Gavin Wells, running wide right, breaks a tackle, bounces outside. Braden Broughton going to force him out of bounds at the 14. It's a gain of 4 for Gavin, and it'll be 3rd and 6 Panthers.
Panthers really need a touchdown on this drive, Jim. This is another one where they've got, good enough field position to get a makeable field goal, but they really need to get that touchdown this time and a 2-score lead.
2-score lead would be huge with 1:05 to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 6 Benton at the Wolf 14-yard line. One back in the backfield. 3 receivers to the right, single receiver to the left, and that is the open field. It's Brown going to quick pass out. Gavin Wells again with the catch up the sideline. That's a touchdown, Panthers. Garrett Brown to Gavin Wells, who tiptoed the sideline into the end zone, and the Panthers have a 2-score lead with 58 seconds to go in the quarter.
Jim, I thought they had him stopped at the 9, and he just tiptoed up the sidelines and stuck the ball over for a big Panther score.
Brian Araujo on for the extra point to give Benton a 10-point lead. It's up, and it is good. And with 58 seconds to go in the third quarter, it is 24-14, Benton Panthers. Dio, how about these Panthers in the third quarter the last 2 weeks?
Well, I guess they took it personal that their third quarter stats were probably the lowest in the state. So last week and this week, they've come out with a vengeance, and really identical drives coming out of the half last week and this week with that long drive, and then able to, score again, go up 2 scores. So that's huge. Now the defense just has to keep doing what it's been doing pretty much all night, get Lake Hamilton's offense off there. But talk about tiptoeing down the sideline. We saw Gavin Wells on that play do something that he usually doesn't do. Usually he tries to dance a little bit. I don't know if coaches talked to him or what, but he pointed it south and he took off. And what I like to see is our senior running back, DeAnthony Harper, leading the way.
Yeah.
Right there beside him. He wasn't about to let him not get into that end zone. So great drive for the Panthers right there. That looked really good. And I don't know, putting Casey Johnson in there, I love DeAnthony. But let me tell you something, Casey Johnson has another gear. When you give him an inch and he's going to get 9 to 10 yards, that kid is something special.
It's the change of pace, Dio, that I really like. When they put one in and then they put the other in, it's really special.
Brian Araujo to kick off for the Panthers, and he's going to sky kick it to the far sideline, fielded by Owen Miller on the run. Miller breaks a couple of tackles and is going to finally be down at the 33-yard line. Boy, it is, you got a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and an 82-mile-an-hour changeup. It's hard to hit.
Yeah, that's right.
See that in the World Series that just ended. And that's kind of what the Benton offense throws at you in Harper and Johnson out of the backfield.
They really do. And their run and pass game, too, because just when you cheat up to that line of scrimmage to try to stop the run, that's when they'll hit you deep. And they're hard to defend.
So first down and 10, Lake Hamilton at their own 33-yard line. Wingback Rhodes motions left to right as they hand it off to Woodley. Woodley shedding tacklers, and now, boy, that's a good tackle by Kane Simmons to come up, take his feet out from under him at the 35.
I mean, he keeps laying licks like that. We got to give him a nickname. I mean, that is just a hammer. That's a big running back right there, and he just put him off of his feet. Great job by Kane Simmons.
I think a good nickname for him would be Colin Simmons because he's a spitting image of him.
That's right.
Back there at safety. Second down and 8 for Lake Hamilton as they're going to go play action. Bradley drops back, has a receiver open. Burnham closed the distance, never turned around, and we're going to get a pass interference call on Dylan Burnham as Isaiah Clenny, the intended receiver, interfered with, and that'll give Lake Hamilton a first down.
Well, you could almost see it in his eyes. He just said, I'll take 15 over 7. And the wide receiver was behind the defense. He got burned. He made up the ground, but that was a good call by the official.
It was Lake Hamilton's 6th pass attempt of the ball game, Terry. That's their average for the season, as the pass interference being marked off against the Panthers is going to set the ball just over midfield into Benton territory, where it'll be first down Lake Hamilton.
Good job by the Panther seniors.
So again, they'll bring Rhodes, the wingback, in motion to the near side. Hand off to Woodley, the big fullback. He's over the 45, breaking tackles over the 40-yard line. And big Tevin Woodley is going to rumble for 12 yards and a Lake Hamilton first down to the Benton 38.
That's the one thing about this offense. They force you to play every play, because if you don't play every play, they're going to get you. and they're going to hit you for a big gain.
We've got 1 quarter to play tonight. And as we go to the fourth quarter, Benton leads Lake Hamilton 24-14. This is Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and the Benton Football Network.
Saline County is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire country. The state's best schools, thriving businesses, family-friendly communities, and the great outdoors combine to make our home both exceptional and uniquely local. At Saline Health System, we deliver care that's as extraordinary as our home. With the most advanced technology and a team of doctors and nurses who know you by name, we're here to provide the care you deserve. Because around here, local is always extraordinary.
Some of the greatest lessons I ever learned in my life were from high school football. Most people don't realize it, but like we say, defense wins championships. Well, operations wins championships in the mortgage world. And Cornerstone has the best operations in the business, hands down. That's what makes us able to take your file and have it ready to close in 8 days. That's where Cornerstone really shines.
Appreciate First Security Bank for their support of Benton Panther football. First Security Bank has 7 Saline County branches, including downtown Benton at 205 West Carpenter and the military branch at 1401 Military Road. Arkansas's premier financial services company is First Security Bank, only in Arkansas. As we open the fourth quarter, it is first down and 10, Lake Hamilton. The ball at the Benton 38-yard line as Owen Miller comes left, and Owen Miller is corralled by Bryce Gallagher and Colin Yandell at the 36. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Those boys showed up with bad intentions. Got a little score on the El Dorado game that we couldn't find. El Dorado's up 40-7 with 6:48 in the third.
So El Dorado likely securing the 5th seed in the conference tonight. And Russellville and Siloam Springs will play for the 6th seed in the conference. Bryant North Little Rock tied at 21 in the third quarter tonight back in Saline County. As Bradley drops back, pressured. Bradley somehow eluded the sack. Brett Barbary finally gets to him. That'll actually go for a loss of 1 back to the 36-yard line. Could have had him for a loss of 7, Terry, and Bradley somehow slipped out of there.
Slipped out and made some positive yardage, but looks like Barbary's going to get his 10th sack of the season.
Yeah, had 1 in the first half, gets 1 there. 3rd down and 8 for the Wolves at the 36-yard line. Rhodes in motion. Bradley fakes. No, he gave it off to Woodley. And Woodley, boy, I was fooled on the play. Cade Clark was not as he tackles Woodley at the 30, and it'll be 4th down and 2 for Lake Hamilton. This is a huge play with 10:20 to go in the ball game.
It really is, and that was just a great execution by Lake Hamilton. We had it covered well. They just had it well blocked, and were able to get upfield and set up a 4th and 2. Big play for the PDC right now.
Big play. 4th and 2 at the Benton 30-yard line. Benton leading 24-14 with 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Bradley under center, and the Panthers jumped off. Lake Hamilton went with the hard count, and an overzealous Benton defensive line jumps offside, and that'll give Lake Hamilton the 1st down to the 25.
Had an opportunity to send them back to the bench, and lost our discipline. Gave them a freebie.
1st down and 10, Lake Hamilton, following the offside penalty at the Benton 25-yard line. Wolves moving right to left here in this fourth quarter as, again, they give it off to Woodley, and Woodley is going to pick up 2 yards. Boy, the front of that Benton defense in the second half, Terry, doing yeoman's work. Justin Walker, again, doing a great job.
I'm just going to tell you, that's the weight room showing up right there. That was a very, very strong play by that defensive front, and just a great job of Justin Walker getting around that running back and pulling him backwards.
Yeah, it's a Benton football program that last spring won a state weightlifting championship.
For the 2nd year in a row.
Translates into strength and stamina in the fourth quarter in the fall. We're seeing it. We need it more here as Woodley gets a carry, breaks a tackle, and now loses his footing inside the 10 down, inside the 15 down to the 11-yard line. Boy, as strong as the Benton defense has been, Tevin Woodley been strong in the second half for Lake Hamilton running the ball.
Well, he really has, but what you're seeing now with some of our defenders is they're standing up. They're not getting low, getting their pads low where they can get the tackle.
See Kyrie Watkins in there on the defensive line for Benton. They gave it to Woodley again, and that time, is that Jaden Woolbright? It absolutely is. Jaden Woolbright, the senior, with the big lick. For no gain, it'll be 2nd and 10.
He made the initial lick and then let his arms fall down around those legs and was able to get him on the ground and push him backwards.
Lake Hamilton's in the red zone, but the clock continues to bleed off. Under 8:20 to go in the ball game. Benton leading 24-14. 2nd down and 10 Lake Hamilton at the Benton 11. Bradley under center. Going to give it off to Woodley, and Woodley's tackled by Justin Walker right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be 3rd and 9.
The senior defensive tackle is having a career night tonight. He's only a junior.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I misread that. We've got him for another year.
Absolutely.
Jim, that's exciting because I'm going to tell you, that dude is having a ball game tonight. He is really shutting down the middle of that line of scrimmage.
3rd down, Lake Hamilton at the Benton 10-yard line. Clock at 7:30 and counting in the 4th quarter. Bradley fakes to Miller, rolls out, looking, throwing into the end zone, incomplete.
Oh,
They're going to say Cade Smith bumped him. Boy, that's a touch call. Tony Lenahan, the editor of the Saline Cougar and our stat guy, in dismay over that penalty marker.
That is absolutely terrible.
And we've also got a marker back at the 19-yard line thrown by the referee. We're going to get a pass interference against Benton, and we're going to get a hold against Lake Hamilton. So that will offset and we'll replay the down.
Woo!
As Lake Hamilton called for holding, Benton called for pass interference.
Well, whoever made the hold, I think I want to hug him right now because he just bailed us out.
Yeah, he was holding Caleb Kaufman, who was cutting a path to the Lake Hamilton quarterback.
Well, here's the thing about playing down here. You cannot give them opportunities to make a call on you because it will happen.
3rd down and 9, Lake Hamilton at the Benton 10. Motion. Option to the right. Pitch to Destin Rhodes. Rhodes trying to get to the edge. He's tackled short of the 1st down by Dylan Burnham. Good tackle in the open field by Burnham on that option to the wide side of the field, and we have a huge 4th down. 4th down and a long one, Lake Hamilton. The ball is at the Benton 3-yard line.
Yeah, you just saw Kyrie Watkins check in at the line of scrimmage. They're gonna try to really plug this middle up.
Fans on both sides of the stadium on their feet, and the Panthers jump offside. That is twice on this drive that the Panthers have given a gift to Lake Hamilton of a 1st down by encroachment.
We're keeping them alive.
So a half the distance to the goal penalty makes it 1st down and goal. Or they're still going to say 4th down, Terry.
4th and about a foot.
Half the distance to the goal is going to leave it 4th and inches for Lake Hamilton as they break the huddle. Clock under 7 minutes to go in the ball game. Bradley tries to hard count, and that time the Panthers don't jump. Panthers do not jump, and Lake Hamilton is going to take a timeout with 6:52 to go. Benton leading 24-14. Ooh, Dio. Help us catch our breath up here.
Well, what do you want me to talk about, Jim?
Well,
we got a huge play coming up right here. I mean, this, but the good news is they've drank, 7 minutes off the clock in this drive. So we're probably going to see, regardless of whether or not they kick a field goal or score a touchdown, we're probably going to see an onside kick. So we can expect, if we recover that, to have decent field position for our offense. But then it really comes down to our ground game and seeing if we can keep the ball on the ground. And well, I shouldn't say ball on the ground. That sounds like a fumble. We don't need to do that, but we need to keep the ground game going so we can keep their offense off the field.
It is exactly a 6-minute drive that Lake Hamilton is on. They began possession at their own 33-yard line. They have it 4th and inches just inside the Benton 2-yard line, Terry. Boy, what a stand would do right now.
You got to feel like that a 4th down stand right here breaks their back. You got to feel like if you can hold right here, you'll win the football game.
Back-breaking opportunity for the Benton defense. Colin Yandell and Kyrie Watkins. Justin Walker, Caleb Kaufman, Trey Maxwell, Brett Barbary along the front for the Benton defense. Zach Bradley under center. He's going to turn and give to Owen Miller, who's going to step into the end zone. He gets the first down. He gets the touchdown, and Lake Hamilton has cut the Benton lead to 24-20 with 6:48 to go in the ball game.
Well, there go the fireworks, and that's not going to make Dio happy. I wonder what he does if I ever talk Nethery into getting a cannon.
Oh, Spencer Hilliard on for the extra point for Lake Hamilton. High snap. Hold it down. It's blocked. That's a big block. It leaves Benton with a 4-point lead. Lake Hamilton cannot tie it with an extra point. Huge block for the Panther defense. And, boy, that gets momentum right back over there to the men in maroon and gray.
Oh, yeah, man. What a huge play for the Panther defense, really. They get up, they get the block. Now that leaves it to where they cannot tie it with a field goal. They have to score a touchdown in order to win. So if the Panthers can just hold the ball and have a methodical drive down the field and run some clock, that's going to put us in a position to get a victory.
That looked like Caleb Kaufman on the block as we watch the replay, and that's a huge play in this ball game. We've seen a punt blocked, we've seen a PAT blocked, and now the Benton special teams try to get a big kick return from Andre Lane or Jaden Nash here with a 4-point lead.
How big would a kick return be right here?
It's Hilliard going to kick off. Andre Lane is going to field it at the 13. He's over the 20, running to the far side of the field. Flag comes in as Lane's over the 30, over the 40. He's over midfield, pushed out of bounds at the Lake Hamilton 45 by the kicker Spencer Hilliard, but a marker coming against Benton thrown by the white hat. The penalty back at the 27-yard line. Mercy. Blocking the back against Benton, and so Benton's going to start this drive, Terry, inside their own 20 back at the 16.
That is almost a 50-yard penalty. Unreal.
So they set the football down at the 16-yard line. Benton moving left to right in this fourth quarter. Ball is in the center of the field. First down and 10 Panthers. DeAnthony Harper will line up to the right of quarterback Garrett Brown. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Kobe Reeves set to snap the football back to Brown, who hands it off to DeAnthony Harper, who stutter steps and then finds some running room. Look at him, Terry.
My goodness.
Churn and carry Wolves.
What an amazing run by the senior.
20 to the 29-yard line, a gain of 13. We saw D-Buddy carry Bulldogs last Friday up the Benton sideline. He carried 5 Wolves right down the center of the field.
Well, you know, a lot of times you'll see some of these offensive linemen pulling their running back. That time he was pushing the whole pile, which included 3 defenders.
Great run by D-Buddy. First down, Benton. They actually gave DeAnthony 12 yards on that gain. Mark it at the 28, first down. Give it to DeAnthony running left. He lowers his pads and gets to the 32-yard line, a gain of 4. It's second down and 6, and it keeps that clock moving.
Another beautiful run, and you just said it, Jim. He runs so low to the ground and already, but, man, when he gets his pads down, it's something else.
There's a quick pass out to Gavin Wells. Leaps a tackler over the 40-yard line. Gavin's going to have the first down to the 42. That's a gain of 10, and the Panthers have found a play, Terry, in this second half. That quick pass to Gavin Wells on the sideline, and it goes for 10 yards.
Yeah, it sure does. And Gavin, you get the ball to your playmaker and let him go make plays, and that's exactly what Gavin's doing on that sideline right now.
First down and 10, Benton. Clock at 5:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Benton leads at 24-20 tonight over Lake Hamilton. First down, give to DeAnthony Harper. He's following his blockers over the 45 to the 46-yard line. That's another 4-yard gain on first down for D-Buddy.
Yeah, another strong run. And I'll tell you this, as crazy as this sounds, they're leaving Peyton Hudgens with man-to-man coverage and no safety over the top. Keep an eye on him.
Casey Johnson has checked in to relieve DeAnthony Harper in the backfield. Second down and 6. Casey's going to get the carry running left. Boy, he lost his shoe 5 yards back as Casey to the 48-yard line. And now Benton has a third down and 4, Terry, with 4:10 to go in the ball game.
I thought it was Casey's shoe as well, but it was actually defenders.
Oh, third down and 4. Huge play. 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right. H-back Braxton Slaughter to the right. Both sides of the stadium urging on their young men. Big third down play is the give to Casey Johnson. Casey over midfield. Boy, he was hit very hard, a yard short of the first down, Terry. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Boy, this is a big decision right here. You kind of feel like with 3 minutes and 30 seconds and counting, this is really winning time. This is title time. And if you can get a first down here, you can run another minute and a half at least, Jim. This is a huge play.
Well, the Panthers just take the snap clock down and then take a timeout. Snap clock at 10, game clock at 3:10. Panthers trying to get Lake Hamilton to jump offside. The Wolves do not do it. And now Brad Harris is going to call a timeout with exactly 3 minutes to go in the ball game, and Benton leading 24-20, facing a 4th down and 1 at the Lake Hamilton 49. I want to go down to Dio. Dio, play coach here. What do you do?
Gut check time. That's what I'm telling my offensive line. This is gut check time. This is a conference championship right here on this play. That's what you got. That's how you got to play for it. So football's a collision sport. It's time to show who the boss is of the 6A West and get the dadgum yard. That's what it's time for.
Well, if y'all remember, in the Siloam Springs game, we wound up getting a illegal motion call that took this moment right here away from us. Now it's for a conference championship, and I don't care who you are. If you can't move the ball 3 feet, you don't deserve to win. This is a time for the offensive line to line up and push the line of scrimmage forward 4 feet.
And remember, the Panthers have had a punt block tonight. So if a punt was in your mind to try to pin Lake Hamilton back, Brad Harris has left the offense on the field. It is 4th down and 1. Going to run the option to the right. Pitch to DeAnthony Harper. First down and more. D-Buddy down to the 40-yard line. And rather than punching them in the mouth, Terry, they go outside with the option, and D-Buddy picks up 9 yards for the first down.
Great blocking on the outside that gave him the lane to run down, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. That is championship football right there. Great job by the Panthers.
We've got an injured player over here on the Lake Hamilton sideline being attended to. Stoppage of play is, I believe we've got an official down, Terry.
Oh, I think you're right.
As that play came right to the sideline, and
maybe our line judge.
And they are going to help him to his feet. Boy, that's good to see. We've seen the players going hard tonight, the officials going hard, and the line judge over here on the near sideline went down as so we saw it, a Benton player blocking a Lake Hamilton player, and the official got mixed up in the block right there on the sideline. So it'll be first down and 10, Benton, as they continue to make sure the official here on the near side is okay to go.
And we're not going to have to snap the ball until about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, Jim.
Yeah, that 40-second clock now, it's going to be a 25-second clock following the stoppage of play, but 40-second clock, you can bleed 2 minutes off a game clock. Lake Hamilton does have 2 timeouts remaining. DeAnthony Harper going to get the carry. Boy, protect that football, D-Buddy. Don't let him strip it. And DeAnthony's going to be marked down at the 38-yard line. A gain of 2, it'll be second down and 8.
Well, DeAnthony was marked down only by the officials because in his mind he was still going.
Panthers at the line of scrimmage, but the snap clock still with 25 seconds to go. You don't have to be in any hurry right here. Snap clock now at 15. The Panther offense looking to the sideline for the play. Good job right here milking that clock by the Benton Panther offense. They're going to snap it with 4 on the snap clock. And a pass out to Peyton Hudgens drops the football. A penalty flag comes in. Gavin Wells recovers the fumble. And we've got a marker down at the 35, Terry.
We're going to get pass interference on the offense. They ran exactly the same play that they ran the last time that we got the call with this same exact result.
And a pass interference is coming up against Benton.
I don't understand the play call.
And he's asking Tommy Gillerin if he wants to accept the penalty. As the result of the play, Terry, was a fumble that Gavin Wells recovered, and they are going to mark it back at the 48-yard line as Tommy Gillerin and Eddie Enlow have a conversation over here on the hash mark on the near side.
I just don't understand it.
So it will be second down and 21. Panthers at their own 48-yard line. 2:01 to go in the ball game. Benton leads at 24-20. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Snap. Handoff to Harper. DeAnthony breaking tackles. Look at DeAnthony go, Terry, down to the 43-yard line. Stays inbounds. Lake Hamilton now going to be forced to take a timeout with 1:50 to go. And it will be third down and 13 for Benton at the Lake Hamilton 43-yard line.
Well, this is a big play. Panthers just, I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, they really had the game in their control and just found a way to take that momentum away from themselves. And with 1:50 to go and the other team still having a timeout, now we're going to be faced with a 3rd and long and, needing a first down. Now, if we get a first down, it puts the game away. But, you're 13 yards away from a first down, and Garrett Brown is a great quarterback, but he's been a little inconsistent this year, especially if he doesn't set his feet. And, I mean, he's thrown 7 interceptions this year, and the last thing that we need right now is a turnover.
So the Panther offense takes the field facing 3rd down and 13 at the Lake Hamilton 43. Formation's going to bring Hudgens and Wells to the near side. Barbary tied in to the left. Slaughter the H-back. Brown drops back. Brown pumps. Brown pressured. Eludes pressure. Has a wide open Gavin Wells at the 20. At the 10. Wells going to be tackled at the 6-yard line. First down, Panthers.
Holy smokes. How does number 2 get that wide open? How does that happen? That's the best wide receiver on the field, and they left him wide open.
Brown bought time. There wasn't a Lake Hamilton defender within 20 yards of Gavin Wells, and the Panthers have it first down and goal at the Lake Hamilton 7.
Nothing special here.
A minute 20 and counting in the ball game. Benton leading 24-20. And there are folks on the Lake Hamilton side packing up their seats and their blankets and heading for the exits, as the Panthers are a minute away from securing the number 1 seed in the upcoming state playoffs. Handoff to DeAnthony Harper. DeAnthony trying to put the icing on the cake. He is going to be short of the touchdown at the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Hey, good for Garrett Brown. What a great throw. And D-Buddy's run just then got it all the way up to the 1-yard line. They need to punch it in here. I mean, you don't leave them on the clock like this. You've got the defense back on their heels. You've got enough. You're going to have to run another play. This Panther offensive line needs to make a statement right here and get the ball into the end zone.
2nd down and goal. Benton at the 1-yard line. Brad Harris is going to take the snap clock down to 0 and call a timeout. 17 seconds to go in the ball game. Panthers lead at 24-20. And Dio, Gavin Wells wide open, but how about Garrett Brown buying time with his scrambling ability?
Yeah, that was a good play. And what they did is Gavin ran a post corner, and when he ran the post, they're in his own defense. The defender that had him released him to the safety who he thought was going to be over the middle. Well, Gavin just looked like he was running to the middle. When he broke back to the outside, there was nobody there. So that's why he was so wide open. I don't want to see us run the ball. I don't want to see another play right here. That's too much of a risk of a fumble. Take a knee, make him call a timeout. At this point, there's nothing they can do, but I'd hate to see a fumble, something, because here we're at Lake Hamilton. Keep that in mind. Strange things happen here.
That's a fact, Theo.
And the last thing I want to see is a fumbled handoff or a fumble and then a scoop and score. Let's just take the knee. There's 17 seconds left. There's nothing that can be done if we just manage that. That's all we got to do right here.
Well, for those of us that are ardent followers of Benton Junior High, we saw the Panthers fumble taking a knee last night at Cabot. So we're a little gun shy on that right now. 2nd down and goal, Panthers at the 1. Matt McBride referenced that in our Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. We'll see what the Panthers do with Wells and Harper set to each side of Garrett Brown. They're going to give it off to DeAnthony, and DeAnthony drops the hammer with 12 seconds to go in the end zone for the score, and the Panthers leave no doubt. 30-20, Benton.
You got to love it. What a great game between two great teams. The Panthers take the 30-20 lead. Brian Araujo hopefully makes it 31. And a 6A West title.
Murdoch to hold, Araujo to kick. It is up, and it is good. And the Panthers lead it 31-20 with 12 seconds to go in the ball game.
How big was that 3rd down run?
Panthers overcame penalties 13-play, 84-yard drive that took 6:25 off the clock, Terry, after Lake Hamilton had scored to cut the lead to 4. How's that for an answer?
Yes, sir. It's the kind of answer that you want to see, but most importantly, it's the kind of answer that seniors will deliver for you when they're playing like seniors. And this group of seniors, the last 2.5 games, have really, really stepped up and played some big-time football.
I want to remind everybody that a championship's on the line tomorrow at Bank OZK Arena.
Oh, yeah.
The Benton Lady Panthers will play for a state championship against Jonesboro tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pack that place the way you have packed Lake Hamilton tonight. Not an empty seat across the way. The Panther fans have turned out en masse down here at Lake Hamilton. Let's do the same tomorrow. And watch the Lady Panthers bring home a state championship. What a tackle by Gianni Vanucci on kick coverage for Benton. How about that sophomore, Terry?
Hey, what's Dio feeding that boy? That was a big-time hit, Dio.
I'll take it. I mean, I like it. I like hey, and you know what? I mean, I'm glad that we scored on that last play, Terry, even though I thought it was a little risky. When I saw D-Buddy running to the side, I was like, oh, no, just get in the end zone. Please don't let anything happen, because this end zone down here feels like the south end zone at Panther Stadium. It just feels like bad things happen down here.
It was a fumble that was Benton's undoing 2 years ago here. Not tonight, as Owen Miller is going to carry, and Miller is going to be tackled by Kane Simmons at the 42-yard line as time expires, and the Benton Panthers have defeated the Lake Hamilton Wolves tonight, 31-20.
Great football
game. And that wraps up, Terry, the number 1 seed out of the 6A West in the upcoming Class 6A state playoffs. Congratulations to Brad Harris and the Benton Panthers tonight. 31-20 winners over Lake Hamilton. We'll take a break and come back with the Brent Houston for Circuit Judge Panther postgame show. We'll also hand out our Jones Heating and Air Panther offensive and defensive MVPs. So you'll want to stick with us as Benton wins tonight, 31-20 over Lake Hamilton. This is Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and the Benton Football Network.
Some of the greatest lessons I ever learned in my life were from high school football. Most people don't realize it, but like we say, defense wins championships. Well, operations wins championships in the mortgage world. And Cornerstone has the best operations in the business, hands down. That's what makes us able to take your file and have it ready to close in 8 days. That's where Cornerstone really shines.
Smith Caldwell Drug is located in the heart of downtown Benton. We're an independently owned pharmacy that strives to give our patients the best quality and care possible. We offer free delivery service and convenient drive-through window. Our friendly staff will help you with your insurance billing needs and much more. Be sure to shop our large boutique, gift section, and baby department, where you get free gift wrapping. Smith Caldwell Drug, in the heart of downtown Benton.
It's been a while since we've had a conference championship, and it's great feeling, man. And I'm so happy for this bunch of players that had the fortitude to finish the game in the second half and win a huge game for the program. And now they get to go into the last week without having a title on the line or without needing anybody's help. they can just go out and execute and get ready for the state playoffs.
This is the Brent Houston for Circuit Judge Panther postgame show. A very happy one tonight as Brad Harris visits with his Benton Panthers. Benton wins it 31-20 over Lake Hamilton as the Panthers convene across the way. Scores from across the conference. Greenwood has defeated Sheridan tonight 42-0. El Dorado laying it to Russellville 40-7. And last report, Siloam Springs leads Whitehall 21-0. So you've got Siloam Springs and Russellville next week for the 6th seed. El Dorado is locked in at 5. Sheridan's locked in at 4. Greenwood and Lake Hamilton will play next week for the 2-3 seed. But Benton has that 1 seed. That's home field throughout.
That's exactly right.
That's Benton playing in the Palace the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, home field throughout the playoffs is such a huge deal because we play good at home. There's not a whole lot of teams that can beat us at home. And that's the perfect place for the Panthers to be to make another run for the state championship.
And it earns you a bye in the first round.
Hey, you know what? And we're number 1 in the state this week, and we defended it against an undefeated team.
No doubt. That's Lake Hamilton's first loss of the season. They came in 8-0 in the ball game. So Panthers celebrate. See Freddie over there hugging Panthers. Dio, you got Brad Harris.
I do. There I am. All right, Coach. What a win. What a victory tonight. Way to fight. I mean, tell us what you're thinking there. Great second half effort by both your offense and your defense.
Yes,
what did you guys do at halftime exactly?
To be honest with you, I don't know that I can say everything at halftime, but we got in their tail a little bit. We didn't feel like we played real well the first half, Dio, and that's really what it came from, a little extra motivation. We didn't feel like we're the same team we were last week. All right, any first or second half, in the first half we played really sluggish, very inconsistent, and at halftime we kind of got the little attitude adjustment, got after them a little bit, and they responded. That's the biggest thing that happened. Offensive line, they got after it. DeAnthony ran the football like he's supposed to run it. Casey came in and gave us some minutes. First half, we wasn't able to do that at all. All right, this little guy right here had a heck of a game, throwing him the screen game. Tough to go down. Defensively, we did a heck of a job on that wing tee. I'm real proud of our guys. It don't matter how many yards they got. We kept them out of the zone a few times. You're not going to slow that bunch down or stop that bunch. You're just going to slow them down, and that's what we hope to do. We felt like we could win a game if we could keep them to 20, 21, 27 points, something like that, and outscore them, and that's what happened tonight. Real proud of this effort of these guys in the second half. Can't say enough about them.
Let's talk about the tale of two teams, because it seems like your team has taken on a whole new identity since the El Dorado game. I mean, we've struggled against some teams that we really probably shouldn't have struggled with, considering we're taking down two of the top teams, 2 undefeated teams back to back.
Right.
What happened 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. We've talked about since week 4 really about just playing each day. Coming back in the locker room, looking in the mirror at yourself and see if you made your best effort for the day, and I think some of them guys have bought into that. In practice, we've gotten better practices since week 4, steadily. It's not in there where we'd like for it to be. It's not like a game situation, but we're more focused at practice. We had a really good practice this week, I thought, coming off a Greenwood week, and you were always worried about as a coach having that big lull, and we didn't have that this week, and we knew we would have to have a great week, but I think it's just them refocusing a lot, and we felt like we had a chance early this year to be good, and then we go 0-3, so we start questioning ourselves, and we've had a lot of injuries. That's not an excuse, just like everybody else has, but just real proud of the way these guys have refocused and are making a run at it, and we got one more next week to finish this thing off and then get into the playoffs. But the biggest thing is we just won a huge ball game 2 weeks in a row. We took down 2 undefeated teams, and we earned the first seed. All right, regardless of what happens next week, we're the 1 seed, baby, and that's what matters, and we've won a conference championship, but we want to finish this thing off next week.
I know you're proud of your guys. Congratulations on the number 1 seed. Good job, Coach. All right, let's get some of these guys in here. Get over here, and we're gonna face the camera over this way. We got our Jones Heating and Air MVPs. We'll start with our offensive MVP, Gavin Wells. Gavin, you had a kind of a rough year injury-wise, missed a few games. But you come back tonight in a game that really matters. I mean, a huge game, conference championship. And when the offense needed you most, it seems like you kind of were a little bit of a spark. That 3rd and long found an open spot in the zone. But tell us about your offense tonight, because you guys really battled a lot of penalties, a lot of adversity. What'd you guys do? Did y'all come together at halftime or something?
Yeah, at halftime we kind of had a heart-to-heart with the coaches. They were pretty mad. We started off real slow. We didn't have a run game. You know, we were fighting penalties, it felt like, all first half, even a little bit in the second half. But the second half, you know, we had the heart-to-heart, and we came out and we played hard, and we just started executing better.
Well, good job. Congratulations on being named the Jones Heating and Air Offensive MVP. Justin Walker, you've been you've been fighting all year long, and you know, a lot of times at your position, your job frees up the linebackers to get their name called for the tackle. But great game tonight. We called your name several times, but tell us about that defensive effort, because this is the kind of game that you guys really live for as a defensive lineman.
I think our defensive line did pretty well, and our linebackers too. What killed us was the buck sweep outside, and I mean we stopped that a few times, but that's what started getting us at the end.
Well, you guys played great. What were you guys seeing down there? Because I know from my field view, it just looked like a whole bunch of mess back there, maroon mess on the Lake Hamilton side, and I never knew where the ball was. What did you do all this week during practice to keep the eye discipline up?
We practiced on the pulling guards, and then the guards kicking us out, and then us spilling the guards and stuff like that.
Well, you had a great game. Congratulations on being named the Jones Heating and Air Defensive MVP. All right, guys, back up to you.
Dio, while we've got you, the Panthers, 444 yards of total offense, held Lake Hamilton to 244, and the Panther defense held Lake Hamilton to 146 yards below their season average.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. A great job by that Panther defense, really coming along. Great. It was a really good matchup for us. You know, if you think about it, the strength of our defense is that run stop. So to hold them to 240 yards, which is, I mean, that's 120 yards than their average rush total. So, and that's their total yards. I don't know if how many passes did they complete?
Yeah, they 226 was their rush total, and they had 18 yards passing. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Wow. But still, that's a fantastic effort by the defense.
No doubt.
But I'll tell you this, from a team coming up against a team that's allowed an average of 16 points a game. Now, last week was impressive, but to me, this week was even more impressive for our offense because of the style of offense that we were playing against.
Yep.
Because we don't have as much clock. I'd be curious to see, you know, we talked about we had 191 or 192 plays total between us and Greenwood. I'd be curious to see the total number of plays in this game.
107.
Well, there you go, 107 plays, and still to score 31 points, double pretty much their season average. That's impressive performance by the Benton offense.
Yeah, Panthers only snapped the ball 53 times tonight, but for 444 yards of total offense.
Yeah, impressive performance.
So, Mason, you got the stats there for us as we continue the Brent Houston for Circuit Judge Panther postgame show. Not quite. There you go. First downs basically even, 18-17 advantage Benton. Panthers rush for 139 yards. How about that second half on the ground, Terry?
Yeah, absolutely, because we were talking about how we just really didn't even have a rush in the first half, and they just came out in the second half and just pounded. They rushed for more yards in the second half than Lake Hamilton had been averaging all year long.
Panthers certainly outgained Lake Hamilton through the air. Benton 305 passing, Lake Hamilton just 18. And, boy, I know you love that third down conversion line. It's getting better every week.
Man. When we can win third down, we are a hard football team to deal with. And how about the defense? You know, holding them 4 of 12, so only what is that? 33% on third down. That's a really great effort by that defense on critical downs against an offense that just likes to grind on you.
And while we're at it, one line that didn't make the screen, fourth down conversions, Benton 2 of 2.
Wow. Awesome.
Game was tied 14-14, at halftime. Panthers outscored Lake Hamilton 17-6 in the second half. Gavin Wells had a touchdown passing and a touchdown receiving, and boy, was he not the fire starter in that second half.
Yeah, he sure was. And even, you know, some of the electric plays that he does with his feet when he gets the ball. I mean, the tiptoe down the sidelines, the hurdling a guy down here on the sidelines in order to get those first downs and touchdown. Just a great effort by Gavin.
Wow. Panthers win. And that is back-to-back wins over undefeated teams.
Well, we have breakfast every Friday morning, and when everybody sat down at the table, I looked at everybody. I said, "I've got a really important question. If I would have told any of y'all in week 4 that at the on the final week of the season we would be undefeated, ranked number 1 in the 6A, with the number 1 seed, and have a conference championship, would y'all believe me?" And everybody said, "Nope." And I said, "Good, because I wouldn't have believed it either." So hats off to these players who never faltered. They just got up the next day and they went and played the next play. And they did that for 6 weeks now. And they've got themselves to a 6-3 record and a number 1 ranking and a first seed going into the playoffs. Just a very, very good job by the coaches keeping the players focused, and a great job by the players of not getting discouraged but just coming out and playing the next play.
We saw something turn middle of the third quarter at El Dorado.
Yep.
And came out of halftime, and El Dorado got 2 quick scores, and you thought, oh, man. But since that time,
yep,
the confidence, you can see it building, Terry, almost by the quarter with this team.
Yeah, you really can. And, another key moment I thought was the fourth quarter of the Siloam Springs game, when they really had to buckle down in order to hang on to that game. And they were able to do it and come away with a really big road win going into that El Dorado game. And then they come back and just like you were talking about, that El Dorado game, how they played. And you have two games back-to-back like that. That's a real confidence builder, and then followed by a big blowout at home. And I just think it mentally prepared them to make these final few games and knowing that they were going to be the toughest of the year.
The offense in the second half the last 2 weeks has been extraordinary.
It really has.
And when they've needed to answer, they have. Tonight's 84-yard drive after Lake Hamilton cut the lead to 4 and able to get in the end zone with 12 seconds left.
It's big stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So the Benton Panthers, for the 15th time in school history, will be conference champions.
That's awesome.
Last conference title in 2014 in a game we will never forget when Hensey kicked that field goal to defeat Pine Bluff 39-36. You can win it outright and not share it with anybody with a win over Sheridan next week back
That's
at
right.
home.
And hey, listen, Sheridan got the doors blown off this week, but they always get up for the Benton Panthers. That's a big rivalry game for them, and they will show up and we will get their best. And they've got a much improved ball club this year. They've been playing some good football. They didn't play well tonight, but the previous weeks they did, and they took this Lake Hamilton team down to the wire last week. So
I'll tell you who else I hope shows up next Friday. Sheridan's going to show up. We need the Benton Panther fans to show up. It is senior night, and this team deserves a packed house.
Absolutely.
To support them on their final home game. In the regular season, these seniors deserve a full house too. They have been incredible for the Benton football program all 3 years of their high school career.
They really have, and they won a lot of football games in those 3 years, and they absolutely deserve a packed house. And these kids need to have that moment when they finish the regular season, but they feel like champions going into those state playoffs, especially with a home field advantage all the way through.
Panthers win tonight 31-20 over Lake Hamilton. Terry, you got a final word?
Well, I'm just proud of these kids. I'm proud of the coaches, too. These coaches have done a fantastic job of getting these players ready and putting together some good game plans. But I'm really proud of this senior class especially, because when the games have been on the line, it's been seniors that have been fighting through arm tackles and and fighting for that extra block downfield and fighting for that tackle. And they've really played well the last 3 weeks. It's been fun to watch.
As the commissioner of the Picks to Click, the rule next week is you can only pick a senior. No underclassmen are eligible next week. We are only picking seniors.
I love that. I love it.
As our Picks to Click next week. I tell you, I'm going to give a shout-out to Freddie. And I'm going to tell you why. In the pregame at El Dorado 2 weeks ago, this is week 7 of the season, 2 weeks ago, Freddie came up to Brad Harris and said, "You know, Coach, the season's only half over." Now, the season's usually half over at week 5, everybody thinks.
Right.
But you start thinking about Freddie's math, half over at week 7, where does that put you?
Yeah, that's right.
When maybe nobody else believed Freddie did. And that's why he's the number one fan. And Freddie is being rewarded as the Panthers will, at the very least, share a conference championship this year. They can win it outright with a victory over Sheridan next week. The Panthers, with the win tonight, do secure a first-round playoff bye and a number 1 seed from the 6A West in the state playoffs. Our next broadcast of Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride, the Benton Football Network, will be next Friday evening when the Panthers return home for senior night against the Sheridan Yellow Jackets, and we need all Benton Panther fans to come and cheer them on. We'll have the Everett Buick GMC Panther pregame show at 6:30 with kickoff at 7 o'clock. Thank you, Matt Johnson, for producing and running replay tonight, for Barrett Pfeiffer directing, for Mason Woolbright on graphics and all of the setup. Our cameras tonight were manned by Caleb Bingston, and how about this? An old Panther linebacker came out of retirement tonight, Dawson Morris, behind the camera tonight. Dawson, appreciate you.
Great job.
Thank you to our friends at Signal Media for all your help in making 106.7 The Ride, the radio home of Benton Panther football. And as always, thanks to Benton Athletic Director Scott Nethery, who not only knows hospitality to the broadcast crew, he shows great hospitality to the visitors from out of town.
That's right.
A reminder that DVD copies of all Benton Panther football games can be purchased for $17 plus a $3 shipping charge at mmproductions.net. On behalf of Terry Benham, Dio Vanucci, Tony Linehan, and the number 1 fan of the Panthers, Freddie Reinhardt, I'm Jim Gardner, and we appreciate you joining us tonight for Benton Panther football. Remember, go support the Lady Panther volleyball team tomorrow as they go for a state championship at Banco ZK Arena at 11 a.m. Go Lady Panthers. Tonight's final score, Benton 31, Lake Hamilton 20. Until next Friday night when we greet you back home for senior night against Sheridan, good night, God bless, and go Benton.